fire for your mind. The Kosher Clinician.
To divorce-proof marriage coaching for that super chat question.
Well, if she wants the ring, she can't have a hyphen in her name. She's gonna be my woman. I don't tolerate that hyphen stuff. If you're gonna be my woman, you're gonna be 100% kosher. You're gonna be 100%. You're gonna be 100% kosher. There ain't gonna be no damn hyphenated. No, you're gonna be 100% kosher. You're gonna be my woman because I never saw Christ have a hyphen in his name. He was a son of God. It wasn't a hyphen in it. He was God's son. And so if you're going to be on my team, you're going to have to take my whole name, But then if there's a hyphen in your name, there's going to be a hyphen with responsibilities, because that still suggests that we are egalitarian. We're equal. That's what the hyphen symbolizes. It's a feminist and a liberal construct. To get to them, they're saying, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm going to ask you this question, if anyone will pop in. What percentage of women security boss do you feel are wife worthy and wife ready in your opinion? And take yourself out of the equation because we know you're a 5-star. You're a McDonald's all right. But
McDonald's. Okay, so listen. With that, I was getting ready to say 20%, but now I'm saying 30. I think about 25%. Yeah. I think because
the whole U.S.
Right, because
of the remnant, because a lot of men said that they felt like it was only 10%. Because are actually wife worthy or wife ready. They're saying that the juice is not worth the squeeze. So there needs to be advocacy, security boss in my mind, where men and women are working together. Women like yourself, like you, the Charlotte King Moffats, the Paisleys of the world, Shay Chardays, the Chantel Simone, a remnant of good sisters that are pushing the fight. And actually your work and some of their work is actually spreading YouTube. A lot of people are actually talking about the work that you guys are doing. But like I said, you guys
needs and I'ma meet them. I got babies, so I clothe them and I feed them. I got babies, living angels, they're no demons. I got babies, you meet God if you mistreat them. Play no games, no way. 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 Play no games. No way, got me paid for sure. Rapid work, those pay year to year, every year. You know it. Got no TikTok, not a flash, it's everlasting. I don't rock none. If I see you, busters have them. I'm athletic, I wear track pants, never matching. I'm a baller, watch me Euro to the basket. Play no games, no way. 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 No way, no way. No way, no way.
Marriage is that momentous time where many men commit to come together in hopes of finding a woman that can meet their needs and help them become the better versions of themselves.
But what happens when men decide to get married and it being the most important day of their life, when they are treated with mental abuse, mental distress, lack of cooperation, but also draconian court laws set up by gynocrats to seek to destroy and cause distress to men? In this show on tonight, we will have accountability, a more or less accountability queen, Celebrity D, as we expose why the most important day of your life is so vital to the functioning of a man. During this show, we will talk about the various struggles that she's went through, what she's learned from marriage, but also what she's learned from so many women that have thinking errors and lack the self-awareness to become the better versions of themselves. We're not playing in this game or this show on tonight, as marriage is very serious. And because marriage is very serious and marriage is the most important day of your life, how should men move forward in these modern times? Sit back, relax, and enjoy this show as I bring it to you live from the greatest state in the union, the Tar Heel State. And I need you guys to understand this as Celebrity D and I work together to explore the dynamics of marriage. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. There are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become optimized, and understanding how female psychology and the current family court laws play a role on the function of a man is paramount as we seek to bring balance in this critical conversation in these modern times. Enjoy.
If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters acting like vultures. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
Kosher clinician. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right.
Listen.
Kosher clinician. Stop playing.
All right, guys, we're going to get deep into it on tonight. It's Celebrity D and I talk about the dynamics of male mental health and understanding how today or marriage is the most important day of your life. When a man decides to get married, he invests his all, but marrying the wrong woman can be a great detriment, not only to your financial health, but also to your mental health. So, with Celebrity D and I about to drop some fire for your mind in 1 minute. She said she can't hear me. All right. Okay. All right. Try now, Celebrity. I'm ready. All right. She can now. Okay, great. All right. So, guys, we're about to start. And now, guys, we're going to have a powerful conversation on tonight as the queen of accountability drops some fire for your mind. Let's do it, guys. Go.
Left it to the bank like, ha 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 ha. Ooh, go. Left it to the bank like, ha 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 ha. Ooh, yeah. I got it in 10s, 20, 50.
It appears that in modern times, the family courts is laughing to the bank when it comes down to men and masculinity. But if men want to get the last laugh, they got to understand what true power is and how modern day hyenas are trying to sabotage them as they struggle or strive to be men in a time when masculinity is under attack. Let's do it.
In a different zone with the time. Left it to the bank like, ha 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 ha. Ooh, go. Left it to the bank like, ha 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 ha. Yeah. I got it in 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s. I get it, I flip it and continue. I've been going dumb, I've been going mental. Going up, I'm on another level. All black clothes like I'm metal. Little this and this, little Rick and Rick. It's my grandmama, I'm her Nicky Nick. I just wanna love, but I've been hit or miss. I might up and leave, yeah, take a pic. Laugh it to the bank like, ha 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 ha. Go. Laugh it to the bank like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, I got it in 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s.
All right, guys, we're about to get into it. And I got my dear friend Celebrity D in the house as we're about to drop some fire for your mind on tonight.
Fire!
And yes, I got my own hook because I am the kosher clinician. And that's what masculinity does. Men do what they want to do, and boys do what they can do. So without further ado, Celebrity D, how you doing, sister? What's going on?
Hello, thank you for having me. Everything's good over here. How are you?
No doubt, sister, doing well. It's a pleasure to have you in the house on tonight. I found out about you through Obsidian, and I will be part of the Manhood Conference at some point this year. But, when you think about the accountability queen, tell the people why you took that title or that mantra and why accountability is so necessary in a time where many people use ego defense mechanisms like scapegoatism to more or less minimize bad behavior.
So I took on the name, actually. I had a second Instagram, and it's actually Queen of Accountability on Instagram. And that was my backup page. I lost my main page, Celebrity, in July of 2022. So they shut me down. And so I continued with using the backup page, hoping I would get my main page back, but I didn't. But I've been holding people accountable for years. And I feel like that name, it fits me because that's what I do. Not just women, but men too. But it's been mostly women that I usually get because those are the people that's in groups and all over TikTok. And I just feel like accountability is big. And a lot of women don't like that. It's kryptonite. So anytime I hold someone accountable, it's now considered hate speech on social media. So
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
why I'm always on bans and I'm always getting shut down, having to submit my ID. It has been difficult over the past few months, exposing people and putting it out there because it's seen as hate speech.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we live in a time now, young lady, where truth is the new hate, and telling the truth can get you censored, but also not only censored, it can make you, or more or less put you in a very precarious situation where you might lose your livelihood. It takes a lot of tenacity to speak truth to power, and you are a mental health professional just like myself. We both see thinking errors in practice. We both see minimization as an ego defense mechanism as well. But when you think about the mental health crisis in modern relationships, is it safe to say, Celebrity, that there is a mental health crisis in modern relationships? And if so, what's the main culprit?
Yes, I think there's a big issue. I've been talking about men and their mental health for years. It just never got any attention. The drama gets more attention. And now I've been trying to take a step back from that and talk more about the mental health of men because it gets swept under the rug. You know, no one hears a man when he is trying to ask for help because a lot of women are so into themselves. They think in a relationship, it's all about them. And this man is crying out for help. I talk to men right now on a daily who are in relationships and their spouses, their girlfriends don't have a clue what these men been through because they don't want to explore. They don't want to talk to them and say, tell me about your day. Tell me about your life. It's all about the looks and the status and the money he can spend. And I'm trying to bring that back where women are actually sitting down with their loved ones and saying, hey, tell me what's going on. You're not like yourself, you know? A lot of that doesn't get done lately because no one gives a damn. They don't care.
That's
They don't
true.
care about a man's mental health because men are taught to be strong. Men are taught to be powerful. You can't cry. You can't feel bad. Keep all that in until one day you explode and then it gets really bad, right? Because then when they explode and they show in action how they feel, now they're crazy. Now I'm calling 911 when this man has been crying for help. So I'm trying to help men because they're like volcanoes. They start to build up. That lava builds up until one day they explode. I'm trying to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, no doubt. What you said there is very profound. I parrot that sentiment because I've always said, Celebrity, that a broken man is a hopeless man. A hopeless man is a very dangerous man. I see it myself many times in the clinical world that many times men are marginalized. The mental health is marginalized, and sadly in the black community because we've always seen mental health as a stigma. Many times they don't get the records of help that they need to overcome their challenges, but also to deal with draconian laws, but also the modern typical woman. You know, and I know, Celebrity, that there's a remnant of women that are good women like yourself striving to do the right thing. Those women are not perfect women by no means, but they are women that have self-awareness, which in my best estimate is a virtue of femininity. But sadly, so many don't have the virtues of femininity, Celebrity, because a lot of them have what's called, in my opinion, egocentria. And egocentria in the clinical world is tied to a condition called delusional personality disorder. When you present them with the evidence, Celebrity, they deny it. When you try to explain the evidence, they become enraged. And from their enragement, they will argue, do ad hominem attacks, and then they will fight or flee because they cannot hear what you're saying because they not only have egocentria, but they also have cognitive dissonance. Shout out to my man Tim Howell for the 5. I appreciate it, Tim. Tim said, travel, brothers, explore your options, no doubt. I appreciate it, brother Tim. So when you think about cognitive dissonance, Celebrity, what does that mean to you, and how does that resonate in the current crisis or world that we live in now?
You just actually explained it to me. That's my first time ever hearing that. These, as I'm learning and as I'm growing, people have all these different terms that I never heard of. So once you explain it to me, then I'm able to tell you how I think that applies today to women. I think a lot of women have mental health issues themselves, but the difference is we as women, we can get the help easy. We have resources. They care about us. The reason why I started really taking care of men and being there for them, because I saved the life of one of my high school friends. He was about to kill himself in a hospital. We were in the same hospital. We were both suffering a mental health crisis. But the difference is they left that man to wander, to pick up a soda can and rip it enough where it had rigid ends, where he can slit his wrist. I caught him in the back and I said, "What are you doing?" He turns and looks at me, and he was more shocked to see me because I was always this happy person. But I didn't get the mental health that I needed when I lost a lot of people in my life. I held it all in. So I saved his life, and that was in 2011. And ever since then, I said, you know what? I'm learning that men are ignored. And now I'm going to be the voice for them. Even if they call me a pick me, even if they call me. But women say it because it's like they don't want men to get the help. They want them to appear to be crazy, to appear to be, looked at as this guy who's just wanting attention, wanting everybody to be there for him when really he can handle it on his own. And we shouldn't think like that. But a lot of these women grew up in households with a mother who was the loudest hyena of them all, who told her, you don't need to do that. A man's supposed to do that for you. They're supposed to be strong. They're supposed to take care of you. You should never have to take care of a man, and that's not fair. In a relationship, it's two people putting in the work together as a unit. If you're going to be lazy and one-sided, then yeah, you're gonna miss those issues that man is battling. And I think a lot of women just don't care. I mean, I'm being honest. I've heard women tell me, yeah, he was crying in the car. I saw him from the window. I just didn't give a fuck. If he has a problem, he's going to come to me and tell me, right? No, it's your job to go out there and say, babe, what's going on? A lot of women are not doing that because they just don't care. And I've heard women tell me that. And I was saying that's why you are on the verge of losing this man. And you're going to be single with a bunch of cats because you don't care.
Well, I count it an honor to hear from a woman and a sister that's dedicated to the efficacy and the function of male mental health. You don't see it much. And one of the greatest elements, celebrity, that a woman can utilize as it relates to helping her man become the better version of himself is using her femininity. Femininity is what I call the great elixir. It's that solution that helps calibrate a man, but also calms a man. When you look at it through the contextual framework of the modern world that we live in now, celebrity, is it fair to say that modern women like femininity as a virtue?
Well, I don't think a lot of women are feminine anymore. That's why Kevin Samuels had to tell these women to stop acting like an aggressive hyena and start being more soft. So honestly, I don't meet a lot of women who know how to be soft. They think it's all about being tough and hard, but you want a man to pay your bills and do that. You're acting like one. Won't you pay the bills since you're so tough and hard? A lot of these women need to soften up. I don't get to come in contact with a lot of women who are very feminine and they know how to act like a lady. They know how to carry themselves like a woman. They're out here calling themselves queens. You can't be a hyena and a queen at the same time. It don't work like that. So honestly, I'm trying to help a lot of these women now soften up. That's why men don't want to be around them. They already have their homeboys that act like that. Why would they want their woman to act like that too? But see, women call that being controlled, and that's not even it. Men want to see women say, you know what? I need to sit down and shut up. I need to let this man lead. Let me act like a lady and stop trying to be a man because it won't get you anywhere. And then when I ask him, well, where's mom? Does mom have a man? No, she still don't got a man, but she told you this is how you get one. And she couldn't even get one. So we have to start looking at who's telling us this advice and if they're applying and living that advice, right? Because most of them are not. So again, I think a lot of women have lost their femininity and they're very masculine, aggressive. That's why I call them hyenas. They're loud. Being a woman myself, I don't have a lot of female friends for a reason. Because if you're going to act like a man, I already have a husband. I have a man in my life. I don't need a bunch of other men and that women acting like men. I don't need that. But if you need me to help you soften up, I got you. But a lot of women don't want to change because their mothers, their grandmothers are telling them it is not you. It's Pookie. It's his problem. It's him. He's the reason why. No. Ladies, it starts with you. You are the reason why you're aggressive and you're loud and you're ghetto because you think that that's attractive and it's not. So when a woman's telling you it's ugly, when a woman's telling you that men don't like that, you then call us pick-me's, but we're already picked. So it's time for y'all to come up with a new phrase.
Yeah, I totally agree. I agree 1,000%. So the shout out to my man, Tim Howard, once again. And Tim Howard, because of your super chat, you are the #1 sponsor of this stream. Thank you, Tim Howard. All right, guys, please share this stream on tonight. If you have not donated to the channel, donate. Also, go check out Celebrity D, and let's check out this fire stream. Celebrity D, I don't know if you shared the stream with your people, but if you have or haven't, please do, because they need to hear what you're saying in this critical time when men masculinity, and family appears to be under attack. You know, one of the things that I understand celebrities that some women always use trauma as a scapegoat to justify bad behavior. Now, as a licensed therapist, I understand that trauma does play a role in behavior. You know, PTSD can cause a condition called hypervigilance. But let's look at it for what it is. Is all of it trauma based on vicarious trauma, or is it more or less a byproduct of bad behavior and negative socialization, in your opinion?
Bad behavior. We can't keep blaming our attitudes and our current actions. Mind you, we all went through trauma. That's why I tell females I didn't have a perfect life. I lost my mother, my grandmother, and my uncle all in high school.
Wow.
All when I was young.
Wow.
Before I graduated high school, I was without those three people. So I didn't have my mother or grandmother to teach me to be soft. I was raised by my dad. Okay. And I also had two older sisters and a baby brother. So that was my environment. Right. And yet I didn't get pregnant by a Pookie. I graduated high school. I was the only senior in my class to never miss a day of high school. So we can't use trauma as a reason to F up in our current lives. We have to use the trauma to grow and evolve, to get better, to not have to relive that. We have to grow and change within ourselves. Some of us don't ask for help, and we try to mask it by getting a job and going through life like nothing happened. And then you have some of us who take it out on other people because they haven't healed themselves. Now, if you have the strength to take it out on people and be aggressive with these men, then you also have the strength to pick up the phone and call a therapist. There's no excuse. I tell these women every day, you might have grown up. Let's say you grew up with only one parent, right? Like me. You have a choice to either be a good woman or a bad woman. It is a choice. So when women tell me, well, I was raised by my mom, I didn't have my dad to tell me about these guys being okay, but you had a mouth to ask your mom, hey, what is this? And if mom wasn't helping you, we had our counselors at school. If the counselors at school wasn't helping us, our friends had mothers and aunts and grandmothers. There isn't an excuse because we know how to go to those people when we need something, right? So at the end of the day, the excuses, they don't work with me here. I understand that a lot of us have went through a lot in our lives, but we can't use that as an excuse as adults today. You have to grow. Do you think people care that R. Kelly got 30 years? Do you think they care that he was raped and molested as a child? No, they care about him as an adult today because R. Kelly had the funds. He had the circle to say, hey, I need help. And he never did. So again, we have to take accountability for our actions as adults, no matter what we went through as kids, because we don't live there anymore. Either you heal and you grow, or you fester in it and you do something stupid that will land you in prison. At the end of the day, accountability is always going to be held.
No doubt, no doubt. Let's talk about resiliency, but also healthy coping mechanisms. What makes celebrity so resilient? What makes you resilient compared to others that fell by the wayside?
I asked for help. You know, like I said, when I helped my friend in the hospital, we were both in there for the same reason. I had a nervous breakdown that landed me in the hospital for 3 weeks. I was on suicide watch for 1 week. That's how bad my mental health was because I never processed all those people as a kid. And my dad didn't have the money to get me the best therapy. You know, he had to figure out how to raise 4 kids. My mom died over high school break. We were on break for 2 weeks. And I went back the following week. We buried her and all that on my school break, and we went right back to it. I never coped with that. I lived with that as an adult. I never coped. Then I got into an abusive relationship where I was almost killed. So all of that piled up together. I never once asked for help, and I didn't tell my dad what was going on. He had enough to deal with. And then one day I blacked out, woke up. I was in the hospital, man. I was. And I had to stay there for 3 weeks. So again, I asked for help. And when I got that help and someone told me about anxiety and PTSD and mental health and bipolar, they thought I had all this stuff and I didn't. They tried to give me meds. I didn't want the pills. I wanted to self-heal. I started going on YouTube and going online and looking at ways to deal with my anxiety without pills. And that's how I overcame it. Was it easy? No, it wasn't. And I also had my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time. At first, he almost left me because he thought I was crazy. He was like, wow, I met you. We were playing basketball. Life was good. Now you're on suicide watch. What is going on? I almost lost my husband. He was going to leave me. But his mother told him if it wasn't for my anxiety and getting help, I wouldn't have had you. She said she had anxiety bad. So then he understood it once he looked it up and saw what I was going through and it applied to his mom. He then had a better understanding of what I was going through and he stuck around. And we're married still today. So yeah, it was hard.
Well, congrats to you. You talk about a bad relationship. Was that bad relationship, in your opinion, a byproduct of not having wise women around to ground you, or was it you being a rebel? What do you think contribute to you getting involved in a bad or abusive relationship?
Well, the abusive relationship, I didn't know he was abusive. Right. That's the thing. When I met him, we met playing basketball. That was my outlet. I love playing basketball. I was really good at it. And I used to have a really bad mouth myself. I used to cuss at men and I thought I had to be tough to get my respect. It didn't work out right. But when I met my boyfriend, we met playing basketball. And then one day he thought I was cheating on him when I wasn't. And that's when I saw the abuse. That's when he started putting his hands on me. And the black eyes, the busted lips, the broken jaw, I was able to tell my family. Yeah. Oh, wow. I was able to tell my family it came from basketball because I've had my nose broken playing basketball. I was D'ing this guy up so good, he busted me in the nose and waterfall of blood. And then all these guys attacked him. So my dad knew how crazy I was when it came to sports. So he believed that the injuries were from basketball, and it worked. It worked out. I was stabbed. He choked me until I was unconscious. He did a lot of those things, but I forgave him. I forgave this man. Did I think he loved me? Yeah, I did. And when he said, I'll kill your family if you leave me, I believed him because of what he did to me. And I knew my family was already small because of everybody I lost. So he said, I will make sure your dad is buried right with your mother. I believed his words.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry you went through that, man.
No, it's okay. I overcame that. So one day I woke up and I said, you know what? This man's going to kill me. He is going to kill me if I don't act. So I got on the phone and I called his dad and I said, look, your son has been beating me for the last 3 years. And I think he's going to kill me. I don't know why he's so angry, but whenever he accuses me of something and I stand up for myself, that's when he starts hurting me. I said, the black eyes, the busted lips, I can't lie anymore to my family. I said, so you have two options. Come and get your son, or I got to call 911 because he's going to kill me. He just stabbed me for no reason. He was doing things that didn't make sense to me. One time he broke a plate over his head and took the piece of the plate and he cut himself. He was doing things that I didn't know what it was. So when I got off the phone with his dad was there within like half an hour with 2 suitcases. And all he said was, get your stuff, pack it in these suitcases right now. He was trying to question his dad. Now his dad was way bigger than him. We're talking 6'7", 300 pounds. So he wasn't going to try to combat with his dad. And I watched him pack his stuff from the kitchen. He knew it was me that did this. And his dad took him away and I never saw him again. In fact, when he left in 2009, in 2012, he emailed me and said, the title said, you saved my life. He then disclosed to me why he was so angry with me. His mom used to abuse him as a child when his dad left. She would abuse him with lighters. She would abuse him with irons and put it to his skin. Wow. The worst thing he said was she would take a cheese grater, them old school cheese graters, and grate his skin just for the hell of it. So, and she would cuss at him. She was aggressive with him. She would punch him. She would say, come on, let's fight. And they would fist fight. She hurt him for years. So when I would open my mouth, I was the trigger. I was mom. He was really beating on his mom, but it was me. You feel what I'm saying? I understood that he had mental health issues that I never cared to explore because I was going through my own issues. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what taught me to do better. Yeah, I did. And I forgave him. I said, look, I forgive you. Let's move forward. Never mentioned his name. Never embarrassed him. He never had a criminal record. He's now married with 2 daughters.
Man, that's powerful. Guys, hold on, Celebrity. Now listen, guys, y'all got Celebrity in the house. These shows took me about 6 hours to put it together. I want to give you guys good content. But guys, do me a favor, share this stream, please. Share the stream with me and Celebrity. This is going to be a great show on tonight. With the 40 people that are watching, I need 5 to share the stream, but also donate to the channel. Her and I both are mental health professionals. I do these shows to inspire men and also good women that are listening. So I will ask of you guys to not only share the stream, but also donate to the channel. And guys, let's have a good conversation on the night because these shows take a lot of time. I appreciate it and thank you. Celebrity, you are very resilient once again. I want to ask you a question. When is your birthday?
October 28th.
Oh, my God.
What? What?
I figured that's where you got that bluntness and resilience from. You're a Scorpio.
Yes.
Yeah, you're intense. Listen, I saw them eyes. I said something intense about this sister, man. You're very intense. But in a good way, not in a bad way. But when I hear you, I said she's so intense. How tall are you? About 5'4", 5'3"?
I'm 5'5".
I figured that. I said about 5. I don't know how I knew it. I said about 5'4". So, wow, yeah, you're very intense. The intensity that you have. It's funny you said they thought you were bipolar because Scorpios look like they got bipolar because a lot of times they have extremes. They can go from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. Is that fair to say?
The old me went from 0 to 10 really quick. I now know how to control my emotions. And right. I learned in life when we allow ourselves to go on that train of 0 to 10, we end up doing things that we can't take back. So I now learn how to count. I count from 10 to 1 and 1 to 10. And in that time, I'm angry. And then when I hit that 10 or when I hit the 1, I'm calm again. So I've learned how to deal with it. But yeah, I used to be a firecracker. Yeah.
Where it makes sense. Scorpios are very resilient, very loyal, can be possessive, can be vengeful, can be vindictive, and will hurt you when it comes down to protecting their family. Did you have any of those attributes, and how did you use resiliency to help you reduce some of those issues?
Like I said, I had no problem with asking for help and talking to people, especially in the church. I learned how to talk to my pastor. I learned how to talk to women that were older than me, that had the experience, because I wanted to make sure that I became a better person. But when it comes to accountability, this is the sad part about life. It wasn't a woman who pulled me to the side and said, someone's going to kill you with that mouth. It wasn't a woman who did that. It was a man. It was a man who told me one day, when you open your mouth, ugh. And I've never been told that before because I'm an attractive girl. I'm cute. When I play basketball, I'm not wearing lashes and nails and all that because that's not me. I'm a tomboy. I'm like loving basketball. Same thing. Right. This man pulled me to the side and he told me, you're aggressive. You're loud. He said, I know you love basketball. Your game already speaks. Why do you have to call a man a B? Because I have to, He said, you don't. He said, you're a pretty girl, but when you open your mouth, you're ugly. Right. He said, you need to work on your mouth because I'm telling you, someone's going to kill you. And when he said that, I thought he knew something I didn't know. So I left the court right after that conversation and went home because I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and save my own life. He was trying to tell me that my mouth would get me in trouble. Right. And when he told me that, I went home and I cried because no one ever told me that. They never told me that I didn't have to be aggressive, right? It took a man to tell me that. And then I fixed myself. So then when I tried, you know what? Let me not cuss at a man and just play. And I played. They thought I was sick. But really, I was working on myself. And then I got put on teams more. Everybody wanted to play with me more. My life changed. It's like you were blind and now you can see. But it took a man telling me that. Women were okay with me being aggressive. Right. Can you believe that? Because I balled with women too. And they didn't mind the cussing. Yeah, girl, hey. Right. They didn't mind me, doing that. It's sad. Women will never hold other women accountable. What you do is right in their eyes. But it usually takes the opposite sex to tell you, you know what? It's not attractive. So now I'm trying to tell women, look, I was just like you. You can change because I did.
I think it's very honorable that you understood the person, what he was dealing with in the context of his own mental health. And many times men suffer in silence because people don't hear the stories. People don't hear their pain. I need you to educate me. I believe you are a health professional as well, correct?
So I'm glad you said that because I wanted to clarify that. I was waiting for you to give me that opening. Okay. What I do for people is I offer life coaching, relationship coaching, things like that. I am not a therapist. Okay. I cannot diagnose. As a life coach, I can only recommend. And then once I recommend you to someone who I think needs to probably put you on meds, that's a different avenue. That's not my lane. So what I do as a mental health professional is I provide them with techniques. I provide them with a listening ear. I also provide them with different links where they can kind of calm themselves down naturally without the meds. Everything I do is free of cost. I don't charge any of my clients. I talk to about, I say 10 to 15 people a week. So I do that on top of my other things that I do in my real life. But I do all that for free for people because I know times are hard and people can't afford it. Right. So that's what I do. So if I see that somebody is far gone where I think that they might need meds or they might need a doctor, I will then recommend them. I look at where they're at and I will recommend them to somebody else who can really help them. I like to help people not get to that point where they need to pay for someone, right? Therapy costs a lot of money. So if I can save them
It does, right.
money and time, I'm going to do that. Right. But I'm not God and I'm not perfect. So I would tell people, hey, you have a more serious case. If you're thinking about killing yourself every day, then this ain't working for you. You need a therapist. So yeah, that's what I do. Mental health counseling. Mm-hmm.
Right. So now you do have, I know I think I read somewhere that you have advanced degrees. If you don't mind saying, what are your advanced degrees in, if you feel comfortable saying it?
No, I don't mind. I have an associate's in criminal justice, a bachelor's in criminal justice, a master's in management, and a master's in psychology with an emphasis in life coaching.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's impressive. No doubt. That's very impressive. And I think you would be the right person because you can read people. The scorps that I know are very intense. They can read people. They know folks is lying, and they can see through BS. And is it safe to say that you can see through BS?
I can. I don't initially tell them that, but you can tell when someone's lying to you, especially when they don't give you eye contact and they look down before they answer. Okay, you just lied. I don't believe it. It's not that I like to call people out on it, but how are we supposed to grow if we're not being honest? Women would tell me every day it's him. No, it's not. It's not him. I saw what you posted on Facebook. It's both of you. We have to take ownership. But let me tell you, more women are not taking ownership. We are destroying Black men every single day. We are destroying Black men. A woman can destroy a man without even touching him. And when I say the power of the tongue is stronger than the fist, I mean that. And if nobody gets that, when I say that, then they're lost. It went over their head. But a woman, I've seen women get men arrested and the man didn't do anything. There were times where I saw women calling 911, he's hitting me. And she's literally standing there. Right? But at the end of the day, I'm trying to teach women that if a man moves on, if a man hurts your feelings, you don't have to take his life like that and destroy it by saying he did this to you when he didn't. I'm trying to teach women to do better because they are destroying our Black men, but yet you want a Black man to protect you. These are the same women that will say Black men don't protect us because you're locking them up. You're killing them. You're putting them on child support over spite. Let's call it what it is.
Right. Yeah, guys, man, this is a fire show. And tonight I got Celebrity D in the house. Guys, donate to the channel and share the stream. But in the meantime, that robot came and told me, he said, tell them Negroes to get them likes up because the robot said inflation is on an all-time high. So, guys, get the likes up and thank you. You know, Ant Knox, I'm going to do this for you for free, brother. Anyone else, if guys, y'all got any questions you'd like to ask Celebrity D or myself, you can send a Cash App or a Super Chat. But in the meantime, Ant Knox said, this year has been the lowest point of my life, but I will get through it. But no one understands what men go through. And I've been there. I've always been the giver of life. I don't live by the zodiac because that's divination, but I am a Leo. And, if you know anything about Leos are fiery. We're very passionate. We're fixed. You and I are both very fixed. People that are fixed can come off as being rigid. And I've lost jobs, Celebrity, because my background is very eclectic like yours. I have an associate's degree in law enforcement. I worked as a mental health correction officer for 2 years. I saw an inmate take his life because he couldn't handle the stress of being in prison. I did 7 years with the Department of Juvenile Justice. From there, I got my bachelor's in social work from NCCU, North Carolina Central University, Eagle Pride. Went back and got my license in special ed, taught for 5 years, and then I got my master's from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. The greatest school in the world, by the way. Let me stop.
Congratulations. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I've been grinding myself, but I noticed, Celebrity, when I was on my ascension, that nobody came to give me encouragement on my ascension. And what I also saw, Celebrity, when it came down to Black men many times, they've always seen us as the enemy. Nobody celebrated my success. No one gave me love. No one gave me accolades. But these are the same women, some, not all, a percentage that say, come back and save a damn community. But what in the hell are y'all giving to men? Women don't understand that a true feminine woman can cause a man to be even more productive. A woman that takes care of her man, not only from using soft skills to calm him, but giving him sex to keep him motivated, can keep a man happy. But, these chicks want men to come back to bad relationships, a bad deal. They got multiple kids by multiple men, Raekwon, Man, Day. Many of them have been ran through, like what the young boys say. But they want men to come back and put a ring on their finger. Masculine men ain't gonna pull up with that BS if he's a masculine man. Now, if he's a simp, he might do it. But men that got standards and values, they're not gonna tolerate that BS. Because I'm a firm believer in male empowerment. I believe that men should get the best bang for their buck. No pun intended, pun intended. And I think men should lead in power. If a woman wants the love, adulation, and protection of a man, she gotta let that man lead. And one way by letting that man lead is by honoring him and respecting him. A lot of women come into relationships. They say they want traditional relationship, but some women want to take their husband's last name. And I have a problem with that because you're going to be my woman, you're going to take my last name. That's just me. But you evolved as a woman. And in that evolution, how did you use your femininity to keep your relationship strong with your husband right now?
Shutting up when I needed to. Shut up.
She said shut up.
Let me tell you,
Shut the hell up.
I think that's a problem in most relationships. Right. When I tell women, that's why I said I'm coming out with a book called Shut the F Up, because I mean that. Right. What's keeping some women from a good man is their mouth. Shut up. And when you shut up, your life will change. And with my husband, when we get into it or when we have a disagreement, it's a disagreement. It's not an argument. I'm not going to say you be and you little dick. That ain't me. And one thing you said about Scorpios that are revengeful, I was never that. When I got into that relationship where I was being abused, I never got him back. Never sliced his tires. Never messed up his phone. That's not how I was raised. My dad raised me better than that because all that comes with consequences, and I wasn't going to ruin my life over something like that. So if anything, I thought calling his dad would be the best way to do it instead of fighting back and killing him, because I thought about that. I said, well, if I hurt him, that's self-defense because he stabbed me. But I just didn't have it in me to hurt somebody. I wasn't raised that way. So I think a lot of women just need to learn how to shut up. I think that's why they don't have a man. They don't have someone that loves them, but they can tell you all the things they require, but they can't tell you what they're giving back, what they're going to bring to the table. And that's why men say that, because it's easy to tell a man all the things you want, but you're not willing to give him the things that you're saying you want. So it ain't going to work that way. Some women need to shut up. And a lot of women don't want a man to lead. They think that means he's controlling. And that starts at the house. Mom is telling him, if you let him lead, he's controlling you, baby. You're letting him tell you what to do. Tell him y'all either going to walk together at the same time or y'all both going to be leaders. It can't work that way.
It can't work that way. Oh, my goodness. Woo, girl, you said the truth. And I'm going to elaborate on that, dude. You did an awesome job breaking that down. Solar Seed shares should be at least 100 to 200 people in here. And I agree 1,000,000%. It should be at least 100 to 200 people in here. I got Celebrity in the house. Celebrity, did your people know about the stream?
Yes, it's on my Instagram right now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, dear. And it should be 100 to 200 because I've been studying Celebrity from afar, and I'm very impressed by your acumen. I'm very impressed by your workmanship. I'm impressed by your desire to advocate for men. But you said something very profound, Celebrity, and I'm going to expound upon it. And what you said is true. Most modern relationships and most modern women have been taught under the umbrella of egalitarian relationships. And basically what that means, we're equal. They basically mean that the man and woman is equal in power in the relationship. But some of these women call themselves believers, and you can't be a believer if you believe in an egalitarian relationship. It's rebellion. And so you can't have two leaders in a relationship because a masculine man is not going to give his sovereignty to a woman. What women don't understand, once again, is that her femininity is her strongest asset. And many of the mothers of these women sabotage their daughters' relationships, and they sabotage their daughters' relationships, Celebrity, by giving them false information. I'm going to explain it. Egalitarian relationships come out of cultural Marxism or Marxism. And so an egalitarian relationship says, you lead, I lead. But under the biblical umbrella or the biblical canopy of a relationship, in that relationship, Celebrity, the man leads. God leads him, the man leads the woman, children, a woman, and then the children. It does not mean, Celebrity, that he can't delegate power to his woman. You might do something superior to your man. You might be superior in finances or whatever. So a masculine man said, look, baby, you handle that because you're better at it than me. But at the end of the day, if I think something is better for the family, even if I'm wrong, we're going to run with it. But so many women, they depower their women, and so many men suffer in silence because they allow it. I would tell, I've been married 27 years, but I'll tell any woman I'm dealing with, I'm going to be the alpha dog in this relationship. Either you can fall in line or you can take your ass on. It's that simple. I'm a dominant masculine man, I'm a loving man. I'm a kind man. But I lead with fairness, diplomacy, and justice. But you won't be a woman in my relationship thinking you're going to be damn telling me what to do. Because what women don't understand, celebrity, is this. Shout out to my dear friend Dallas D. How you doing, sis? But what women don't understand is this. When she allows that one man to lead in that relationship, she's actually harnessing his masculinity. And what women don't understand, Dallas D, is this also. Control is necessary in a relationship if it's healthy control. I'm going to say it again. Control is necessary in a relationship if it's healthy control. You got abusive control and you got passive control. Passive control more or less set boundaries in that relationship and say, listen, this is what I expect, but you can either do it or not do it. I'm not going to force you to do anything. That's passive control, which basically means he's controlling himself and his boundaries and his expectations. He's giving the woman the option to either comply or deal with the consequence of him moving on. Abusive control means to lock you up in a room, to hurt you or do whatever. But there needs to be healthy control in the relationship, because if a man got a wife, he ain't going to let his wife go out with her backside out, dressing all in seductive clothes, and then women use those BS idioms. Oh, he's controlling or insecure. Ain't got a damn thing to do with insecure. You're my woman, and you're going to respect me as your man. If you can't do it, then you can take your ass on. And I tell men, once men can look past sex and look past all that other stuff, then what else is that woman giving him besides sex? What's your take on that?
I agree. A lot of them don't have anything to offer but sex because, right. You know, my thing is a lot of women, they tell men, you should be paying all the bills and doing all this. But then when they say, well, what are you doing for me? Oh, I'm giving you this good cat. Newsflash, we outnumber men. So there's a plethora of women with good cat. But if it's attached to someone that's lazy, toxic, bitter, doesn't want to do anything, then how good is that person? Mm-hmm. What you're telling a woman is, I want to make sure that if I'm providing for you, that you got my back too. It ain't gonna be you sitting around doing your nails, watching Love and Hip Hop while I'm out here breaking my back working 16-hour days. It doesn't work like that. And if your mom thinks it works like that, then go live with your mom, period. You know, when I met my husband, he made it clear, you know, I'm not going to do you like he did, but do not treat me like I'm going to be like him, because I'm nothing like him. I'm different. Mm-hmm. And he showed me that. And that's why we worked out. And if we had a disagreement, we handled it. Then when it came to being married, a lot of women don't want their husband's last name. They feel like that's being controlled. They want to be married, but they don't want the things that come with being married, right? Wow. I told my dad, I said, Dad, I'm letting you know now, I'm taking my husband's last name. That means I'm not going to be hyphenated. I don't even believe in the hyphenated stuff.
Wait, hold on, celebrity. Hold on, sis. God knows this sister's on fire tonight. Guys, listen, y'all gotta get these likes up, man. Get these likes up and donate to the channel. We got a phenomenal sister in the house. And celebrity, you said something that I did a show with Chantel Simone a while back, and we talked about that. Hold tight.
So divorce-proof marriage coaching for that super chat question.
Well, if she wants to ring, she can't have a hyphen in her name. She's gonna be my woman. I don't tolerate that hyphen stuff. If you're gonna be my woman, you're gonna be 100% kosher. You're gonna be 100% kosher. There ain't gonna be no damn hyphenated. No, you're gonna be 100% kosher. You're gonna be my woman, because I never saw Christ have a hyphen in his name. He was a son of God. It wasn't a hyphen in it. He was God's son. And so, if you're gonna be on my team, you're gonna have to take my whole name. But then if there's a hyphen in your name, then it's gonna be a hyphen with responsibilities. Because that still suggests that we are egalitarian. We're equal. That's what the hyphen symbolizes. It's a feminist and a liberal construct. Women like you deserve to be married. Women like you deserve to be covered. Women like you deserve to be protected because of those sentiments that you said. And women just don't get it. You're going to get one or two men. You're going to get a simp that going to go along with your program, or you're going to get a masculine man that's going to lead you. It ain't no damn other. Either you're going to get a simp that you're going to lead and control, or you're going to get a masculine man that he's going to lead you and control the family and the relationship in a healthy way. But what you said was very profound. Keep talking about it, sister. Good stuff.
No problem. So when I told my dad, hey, I'm making sure that, I'm no longer going by my maiden name. I'm going to be my husband's name all the way through. He said, that's what you're supposed to do. And we laughed. He said, I already know my daughter. I know you're going to follow everything right. My mother took my dad's last name. There was no hyphen. And a lot of women say, well, I'm not you, but I need to have a little bit of me. You are you. But when you get married, you're supposed to take your husband's last. See, a lot of these women say they read the Bible and they go by the Bible. But
They
even
don't.
when I
They
hit
don't.
them with verses where the Bible says the man leads, they don't want to see that part. They got a blindfold on that part.
Right.
So I'm dealing with a man right now whose engagement got called off because 1 minute she's saying, I'm going to take your last name, just your last name. But her mom said, if you take his last name and you don't keep mine with yours, then don't call me. So she had to pick between her mother and her fiance. She chose her mother. And he said it broke him because they were on the same plateau. She was going to take his last name. That's how everything goes. He was going to provide for her, but her mother got in her head. And I told him, that's a dodged bullet. Go find somebody else. Because when you get married, you leave all that. You leave to cleave. What happened to that?
Right,
you know, if my dad called me and my husband was calling me, I'm picking up my husband's call first. I love my dad, but my husband comes first. He will always come first. And to me and my husband, if we don't work out, that's different. But my dad knows that. He'll even ask me, is your husband home? Because I don't want to interfere with your time. That's how I was raised. That's how I was raised. So again, a lot of these women, they like control because their moms tell them they need that. And that's why you don't see a lot of women getting wifed up. Because they don't want to change their behaviors, that hyena behavior, you know. And like you said, either you're going to follow my lead or you're going to get left. I tell women, either you're going to hop on the train or you're going to get left at the station.
Right. Shout out to my man Kevin White for the 5, and also shout out to Troy for the $5 super sticker. And that's a deal, right? I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
Thank you, guys. You know, celebrity. I do these shows because as a licensed therapist, many times from a traditional heteronormative perspective, folks don't talk about it, and it's really sad that the same women that say they don't want a man to control them, they're really controlling their man, because happy wife, happy life is controlling your man. And then also consistent with theology, rebellion is stubbornness is to idolatry, because these women worship their feelings, and rebellion is of witchcraft. They want control. And that's why men are getting passports. That's why they're traveling abroad. That's why they're going to countries where the women have been raised in traditional relationships. If I was a single man again, even though I've been married for 27 years, I would not deal with the typical modern woman, because I know my personality. I'm an old school archetype. I say what I mean then, and I mean what I say. You can follow the program. You can go ahead, because I know what my worth is. You know, I'm 6'5", 6'6", voice of Zeus. You know, I know what my worth is. I'm not going to compromise my sovereignty for no woman. There's not a woman on this planet or a man that I deem to be better than myself. And so if she can't fall in line and want to keep challenging my authority, then she can go. It's that simple. Nothing personal, because I've always said the woman that be on team us, she's going to be well taken care of. But it's going to come with a price. And I try to teach men celebrity to stand in power, because women only respect power and strength. They don't respect nothing else but power and strength. All that BS and all that arguing and fight, it can take years off a man's life. And the brother, Jimmy Perry, said that I know firsthand it cost me mentally, financially, and emotionally. Those women turn to men. Those women turn men to damaged goods. And I made up in my mind, celebrity, that I didn't want no man to suffer in silence. That's why, you know, I take it personal sometimes, because these shows, I put my heart into it. You know, I put time into it. I put hours into preparing these shows. Being a content creator is not easy. You're one just like myself. And you know the amount of time that to put in with the special effects, bringing everything together, you know, hours of editing. You know, I even ran the show late, you know, because I wanted to make sure I gave the people a good show. But if this show can help 2 or 5 guys that are dealing with mental health crises, then I would feel like it's not in vain. But I'm proud of you, because we need more women like yourself. We need more women like Celebrity, the accountability queen, the sister that's willing to look at within herself and shed light. I consider you a warrior, because it's not a lot of women like you that are willing to stand up, to stand against the adversity, and not to bow down. And then we're going to talk more or lless about the death threats, about you getting your accounts shut down as well. But let's talk about a topic, celebrity, that's been on my mind. You know, I'm not going to say I'm part of a movement, but I do support the Passport brothers and men traveling. And this is one of the reasons why many men are tired, celebrity, and many men are frustrated. Listen in.
When you date a woman and she may be a potential wife, it's a competition thing all the way. I can't take it no more.
They feel propped up because they feel more beholden to the government. And then their man comes second. That's why they figure that they're strong, independent, don't need no man because they have the government.
Because the men are failing us, to be honest. Guys thinking about themselves and they'll think about you after you react.
You don't hear anything about being good wives and all the other stuff. What you hear is you're strong and you independent. You can do it on your own. You got black girl magic, black girl rock, but you ain't said nothing about black family.
My mother is like what they consider to be the strong black woman. I feel like I projected that onto the guys that I dated.
Ladies have no idea how stiff their competition really is. You have no clue how black men are viewed in the rest of the world. We are the #1 most sexually desired man on the face of this planet.
They would call Jesus Dusty if he was here living in America because of the gross narcissism that a lot of our women have.
Shout out to my man, Big Mac the Fisher. He said a bad marriage will wreck your mind faster and worse than drugs. And I agree with that 1,000%, and I've seen it. And also shout out the XL Pro for that $5 super sticker. I appreciate the XL Pro. Thank you for the $5, brother. Thank
you. It's the money.
71 people have voted, and 99 say that a bad marriage can impact your mental health. That's very paramount. I've never seen a poll where 99% of the pundits say that a bad marriage can impact your mental health. And so, celebrity, I call it the most important day. Male mental, the most important day. Women talk about celebrity, how can I say it? Women talk about being protected. But the way a woman protects a man is by protecting his mind. What's your take on that? And why is it so important to protect the mind of a man?
Because men go through a lot. Like I tell women now that men have for years been blamed for everything. They had to be the provider. They had to do everything. I even said back in the day, like my dad told me, when I would leave for work, I would just pray that I get to come home to your mother, because the times were different then. And while they were at home and cooking and making sure the house was good, he was out there making sure he still had his life. Men had to do that for years and years. And now these women, they don't want to do that anymore. They want to order off of Uber Eats, and they don't want to cook, and they don't want to clean. They don't want to do anything because they believe that a woman shouldn't have to. If I'm pretty and I'm offering you this cat, that's all I got to do is be pretty, shop, get my nails done, and you just work and bring home the money. But you know what? A lot of men are standing up for themselves. And these American women are bad. They are. You know, when I talk to women now and I ask them, what do you require? Well, he has to do this. Okay, great. You got a list of 50 things. Okay, now tell me what you're going to bring. Hello, me. He gets me. You don't think there's a lot of you out there? What are you bringing him that another woman can't? Right? And they can never answer me that. So I think the passport movement is brilliant. You know who's a great example of that? Chris Brown. American women will not forgive him for defending himself against Rihanna in 2009. But if you go out to Europe and France, they love them some Chris. They were all singing at the station, waiting for the train to take them to the concert. He gets love overseas by these women. They forgive him out there. They don't care what he did when he was 19 years old. But here in America, these women still want Chris to burn. He hurt our beloved Rihanna. No, Rihanna lost a fight. See, there's a difference between what Rihanna went through and what I went through. I didn't initiate the hit to get hit back. She did, see, and she lost. That's all. But at the end of the day, these American women still judge him off of what he did in 2009, but overseas, they love this man. He's selling out shows. So again, men are leaving because American women, their standards are BS. They don't want these men. Unless they can control them, they don't need them. Look at Nicki Minaj. She's married to a man she can control. See, women love a man that got time on his record, who can't leave the state. She can control that man for the rest of his life. He ain't going nowhere. So when you ask why these powerful women marry or date these men that are lower level, because they can control them. Look who's Rihanna's with A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky about to do some time, right? She can control him. He was on the cover of Vogue looking like the baby mama. Right? She pulling him in the picture. And a lot of women didn't see what I saw. I saw Rihanna as they made her look like she's the head of house and she's pulling her girlfriend along. Come on, baby. Come on along. Now, in the end, the way it should be in a black family, the man is always in front. The woman is behind him. Not saying, okay, you're a slave, but he's leading. And she got his back. But the way they did that is they're just saying that Rihanna is a powerful black woman. A$AP Rocky has nothing to offer because he has a criminal record. He ain't been making no music, so he needs to know his role money-wise. If they're making more money, they feel like they're a leader. No, that's not the way it goes. A man is always going to be the head of house. The money doesn't decide that. Okay, because let me tell you this. I told this woman the other day. She said, I make 80 grand. He only makes 45. So how come I can't be the leader? I said, okay, let me ask you a question. Y'all both laying in bed and you hear somebody break in the house. Who's going to check? You the leader, right? No, he is. Why? You the head of house. Bring your ass down there and then blow that wig off, right? Okay. So we need to stop acting like we don't need these men.
She said blow that wig off.
Yeah, blow the wig right on off because women act like they're tough until it's time to do some tough stuff, right? She told me I will send him down there, but why? You are the leader, right? Oh, because he's a man. Oh, now he's a man. But he's not a man when it comes to the money side. No, that's not how I was raised. So again, a lot of these women are brainwashed, okay? Money doesn't last forever. What happens when you lose your job and you're making 0 and he's still making that 45? Then what? Then what, right? So again, a lot of these women, I'm trying to teach them now to change their mindset. Your mom brainwashed you for 22 years, 23 years, whatever it is. And you need to start thinking for yourself, okay? Like I said, my husband, that's my husband. He comes before anybody in my family.
Yes, ma'am.
Always be first.
Yes, ma'am. I totally agree.
Always be first. I'm okay with that, and vice versa. His mom knows what it is. Okay.
Right.
The minute you let people get into your marriage and depict who's the leader or not, that's when the marriage falls apart. Now, I've been married 7 years, been with my husband almost 13 years. I don't know a lot of people that have been solid like me and my husband. I don't, because they don't want him to lead, or they had a financial problem and he left or she left. Then it wasn't love. Because love is not money. Love is not, if shit goes bad, I'm going to leave. What happened to for better or worse? See, women, they recite those words. They don't mean them. They don't mean that.
Oh, my goodness.
Because let me tell you, when COVID hit, that worst went right out the window. A lot of people left their relationships because COVID hit. People lost their jobs. Now you saw the real people that you dealt with, that you're dealing with. So again, for better or worse, for sickness and health, those are just words people say. A lot of them don't mean it. One of my friends who lost his leg. How's your relationship now? It ain't the same. She don't love me the same anymore. Why? Oh, because I'm different. But I thought she said with sickness and health. What happened? See, they don't think things like that will happen. So they're living in the moment. And they forget that when the dust settles, you're now married. This is now the person that you said you're going to be with forever. And again, marriages fail because women initiate divorce. Soon as some stuff happened, they're ready to leave. Back in the day, our mothers worked that stuff out. They worked it out. What happened to working it out? That's why there are vows in place for better or worse. It's going to get bad. It's going to get bad. So again, I just feel like a lot of women, they need to learn how to be women. They need to learn how to act like women, and they need to learn how to say, when they say something, they mean what they say. And they need to stop listening to their mothers. Their mothers are the reason why a lot of them don't trust men. And their mothers are the reason why they're still single today. And when they hit that wall, like you got all these women who are bad in their 20s. Hey, girl. Yeah. Now they're almost 40. They're heavy. They're loud. You know, they got all these Pookie Juniors and they have nothing to offer but used cat. That's not going to do it. So again, you can listen to your mama, but you're going to end up just like your mama. But the minute you take accountability and say, you know what? I chose some bad men because I chose them. Let me get myself right. Let me start drinking my water and get into the gym again. And then watch how your life changes. Because like I said, men don't mind women with kids. They don't mind that if the woman is worth it. That's why they ask, what can you bring to the table? You already got somebody else's kids, so you got to make it worth my while taking a chance on you, because these other two men, it didn't work out. So it's you that's the problem, but women aren't going to acknowledge that. They're not. And again, that's why I come into play. If these women are going to be in these groups talking about these men, bashing these men, posting their picture, posting their social, their personal business, I'm going to be right there to put them on blast.
Well, I think there's some truth to what you were saying. Now, there's a remnant of men don't want to. They said they want to date a woman that had kids, and I can respect that, or I respect a woman that don't want to date a man with kids. But I do agree with you. If that woman is feminine, it'll make that man think maybe twice. If she maybe had one kid and she was an ultra feminine woman. In general, most men that got the money, they're on their purpose. They might say they don't deal with women with kids, and I'm okay with that. If a man don't, or if a woman don't want a man with kids, I'm okay with that. But I do agree with you that the more feminine and cooperative she is, it'll make that man think twice or think second. Depending on how many kids she got. I got 2 questions for you, or maybe even 3. So let it marinate. If you had a son, or if you have a son, what would you tell your son about modern women? And what not to do as it relates to marriage?
Okay, if I had a son, I would tell my son to take your time when you are courting a woman, getting to know a woman. I always tell my clients, treat it like a job. You might have to have 3 or 4 or 5 phone interviews before you go on that date, right? We stopped talking and we got, let's meet at this spot. And then you meet at the spot, y'all both looking good. Then you get a hotel and you have sex. That's not what it should be now. What we need to do is start having conversations over the phone where you ain't spending no money. Because usually a hyena will reveal herself in a conversation.
Oh, yeah, right.
Especially if she's lying. I asked, man, how many conversations do you have? 1 or 2? And if she's one of those women that don't like to talk, then that's a red flag. Keep it moving. So I would tell my son, when you're dating someone, take your time and talk first. Men should have their women have the little 90-day rule, which is BS. They think they're following Steve Harvey's thing, but come on now. That ain't happening nowadays. Women ain't got no night. Some of them only got 90 seconds and they're already in a bathroom with another man. Some of these women need to cut it out. But what I tell my clients is take your time. I would want my son to take his time. And I would say, look, talk to her, get to know her, ask her questions, and remember what she says, because a liar will change it up. Well, hold on. You said you had 1 son. What you mean? And 1 on the way. Something they add up. If you get them to talk more, they will reveal themselves, and you didn't have to spend no money. These men are trying to spend hundreds of dollars on a date, and then you find out on the date she wasn't worth it. But now you added money, and she just got a free meal and a belly full of food, right? So I say before you go on the date, you guys have to also do a phone screen and make sure that she's worth your time. Okay? Right. You can't make it seem like this is the baddest woman in the world, because there's always a woman that looks better than you. That's just the way life is, right? So at the same time, I would also tell him that if your mind is telling you, and your body and the vibes, if they're telling you something isn't right, go with that feeling, because 9 times out of 10 we're right about that, right? Some people will say, well, yeah, I went on a date and I just got this feeling in my stomach that something wasn't right, and then he gets robbed because she set him up. You have to make sure that you are talking, because you would always catch somebody in a lie if they're being dishonest. And I'm not gonna lie, women tell me every day I lie. I tell him everything he wants to hear. Oh, I love to cook. Yeah. And I go on Google and look up food that's hard to cook and say, that's what I cook. That's what these women do. I have women telling me the truth. Yeah. And I tell them this, I tell them that. Oh, yeah. I go to the doctor all the time to make sure I'm good. And they're lying. When's the last time a man asked a woman, what's your status? Men tell me every day I don't ask. But I talk to 2 people that have AIDS right now as we speak. See what I'm saying? So the dating game is dangerous out there. And if you don't take your time and you keep pumping and dumping and doing all, you're going to end up just like these people that I'm talking to right now. So like I said, it's scary out there. And if you only talk to them on the phone, you lose nothing. You've talked to them. If they didn't work out, block, move on. But stop thinking that you have to go on these expensive dates to impress a woman. She already knew she's going to give you some. And that's why most of y'all don't get none, because you allowed her to control the narrative. Stop spending your money. Save that money and talk to her on the phone. That's free, right?
Right.
But that's what I would say.
Right. What would be your fear for your son also, minus that? Would you tell your son to stand in power?
Yes, a big fear. And you know what? I just said this on my show the other week. And the reason why your show, I thought it was going to be a lot of people in here. I was hoping to see numbers on 200, 300. Well, I'm shadow banned on Instagram, and Facebook moves all my stuff to the lower feed for another 59 days. I'm being punished. So that means that people might not see my post until 2-3 days later. Oh, you're on YouTube? That's how it's going to be because I'm being punished. That's what happens when you get on bans. But I'm sorry about that. But anyways, men used to fear the cops. And I'm not saying all men, but men used to leave outside their house and say, I hope I don't get pulled over because I'm driving this nice car. Now, men fear Black women because you don't know what she's thinking. You know that she's mad at you and she's plotting against you. We have women now who will make up a lie just so they can get their kids full time. And he won't get them at all. These women run to TikTok and make jokes about the dad not being able to see his kids. He's crying at the window. Ha 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 ha. And this is a joke to these women. But what happened to Black women caring about our Black men? Now Black men have to be careful. Not the cops are second. Black women are first. Yeah. And it should never be that way. We're a threat to our own men. Why? Why do we have to do that? They already have a lot going on in their lives. We should be an added addition to their stress, right? We're supposed to be their relief. We're supposed to be their peace.
Right.
These women are dangerous.
They're very dangerous.
I tell men, if you need to go to Japan, if you need to go out there to get your wife, go get her. Because these American women are dangerous.
Right,
I was in a bathroom with women when there was an all-star game going on. And all they were talking about was what bill they were going to get paid and who they were going to trap.
Parasites.
This is what they were talking about in the bathroom. I wish I could have recorded it. It's dangerous.
Right. They're definitely parasites. And I respect sisters like you. And I know you keeping the 100. And you're right. This stream should definitely have anywhere from 100 to 200. Unfortunately, you are shadow banned. Hell, makes me wonder if I'm being shadow banned too, because I know I'm bringing fire content, and it's an honor to have you on the panel on tonight. It makes you upset or makes you somewhat frustrated. You know, you put in work, you put in time, you do the work, and you're telling the damn truth. But sadly now, truth is the new hate, and when people decide to tell the truth, it's a problem. But we're gonna definitely do some more shows in the future, because you're right. I thought the show would have been a lot bigger with Celebrity in the house, the accountability queen. Hopefully, we can get a greater reach at some point. But what you're saying is very profound and it has a lot of wisdom to it when it comes down to what men should look for, and also what men should look for in relationships, to say the least. And men are actually dying off early, Celebrity, because of stress, because of disrespectful women, because women that are agents of the government, agents of white supremacy, agent provocateurs, or whatever you want to call it. And I've been in my practice, Celebrity, I heard men say they haven't had sex with their wife in 9 years, but he's still damn paying bills or whatever. She's going on a girls trip. They do whatever they want to do. Others say they haven't been intimate with their wife in months or weeks. And there's no way in the hell I would be with a woman like that. I would be playing an exit strategy if I'm going to be in that kind of turmoil. What's your take on that?
Well, if a man is married, he should never have to ask his wife for sex. Mm-hmm. You know, it should be something that they both want to do. But you know what? A lot of women do get complacent. You got this man out here breaking his back, working 12 to 16 hours a day. And then he has to ask you and schedule an appointment to have sex with you. But you have no problem with going on Instagram every 5 seconds, right? You have no problem going on TikTok every 3 minutes. So what I'm saying is, a man like that, I mean, my best advice for him would be to get therapy, him and his wife, because in your vows, you said for better or worse. That's the worst side right there. You still can't leave. The only way you can leave where you're not going to be in trouble is if she cheats. Then you can go. But if you got a lazy wife, the best thing you can do is take her to therapy and figure out why. But see, my thing is, women will give you all that fire, you know, in the beginning. Yeah, it's good. Then they get comfortable when they start settling. Okay. And instead of them looking at other ways to still make him happy, to bring back that fire, they don't care. Well, he's working. I don't care either. But a man should never have to ask. And it's unfair for a man to ask his wife, can they make love, when it should be already happening, especially if this man is providing for you, making sure you want for nothing. That's the last thing he should be asking you for. And sadly, when they do that and they want to say, well, you can sleep on the couch and all that, that's when men start veering off and looking elsewhere, because he's tired of begging and asking. So if he tells his wife, let's go to therapy, she says, nope, I'm good, and he's still in this marriage where he's not getting any, the next option would be for him to start getting it from somewhere else. And I can't control a man for doing that. But that woman, she chose not to work it out with him. And a man only has so many options. Cheating should never be one. But a lot of men, they try so hard, and men they have needs too, especially when they're out there breaking their back. So I would hope that women will get the behaviors of their husband and say, you know what? I haven't been doing my part. Let me light some candles and put on this sexy lingerie. And when he comes home, blindfold him and take advantage of him in a good way, and make his day. That's a good wife. Or she could be the one, I'll wait for him to say something. Now, you have women like that too. So again, anyone that's going through a marriage like that, I would say try to get help for the both of you. And if she still or he chooses still not to get help, I can't control what you do next because I'm not you. I just know that I signed up for a marriage that I don't believe in divorce. So if our sex life got that bad, I'm willing to fight to make it better. Whatever it takes. If I have to role play and put on a different wig for you and be Nurse Daphne when you come home, I'm going to be Nurse Daphne. The last thing I ever do is cheat. That's a sellout to me, and that's a cop-out. Cheating doesn't do anything. It doesn't fix you. It's like crack. You get that high, then afterwards you feel like crap, right? Why did I do that? And now it's too late. You already did it, right? And then you got to hope that person don't tell on you or blackmail you. It's too much. Why do it? So I always told my husband before it ever got that bad, I would respectfully want us to go our separate ways because I'm not a coward. Cheating is for cowards. I don't do that. I would never want someone to say that you had me when I was supposed to be only for my husband. That's the worst thing. Growing up as a kid, my reputation was my life. No one can ever say they had me and all that because I respected my body more than I did a man with good looks.
I respect you for that, right?
That's how my dad raised me. Yeah.
I respect that. But I'm going to challenge you in a good way because what you're saying is very profound. If you look at it through the lens of theology, Daphne, the gospel said, render unto your husbands, wives, render unto one another what's right or to do benevolence. And basically it says the only time you should have sex with your husband if you're fasting and praying. And then it said, hurry up and come back before the devil come into that relationship. Now here's my point about that. If a woman is willfully denying her husband of sex, that woman is cheating on that man. She's denying him what's called the due benevolence. So she's cheating. Many times, Nikki, in relationships, when men do go to therapy, some therapists, not all, have what's called gender bias. They have a bias towards men, and they tend to take the woman's perspective. That's why many men don't go to therapy, because they feel like the therapist is going to take the woman's side. It happens a lot. I'm not saying always. So there's no way in hell a woman can tell a man, if he's paying bills, he's working hard, he got young babies, and you mean to damn tell me that man got to wait for years and years and years and months before he get a release? That's cheating. She's cheating him out of due benevolence. I remember Bishop Charles D. Williams said, while you telling your husband you got a headache, he said that Jezebel got your husband. So when you put your man in a vulnerable position, because men have a need to release their seed, it's in our nature. If that man is coming to you and saying, listen, I got to get a release, and you keep denying him, you keep using control. If that man decides to go outside that damn relationship and get some box from somewhere else, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him at all, because she's cheating on him. She's denying him of what's right. And women don't understand that sex is very important for a man. It helps him feel love, but also it's part of his biology. He got to find a way to release. Most men don't want to damn do that if they got a decent woman. They would rather get it from their wife. But you mean to tell me he got to wait a year? You know how a year? Hell, I can't even wait. I can't even wait for a month. Hardly to wait 2 weeks. And you mean to tell me I got to wait a whole damn year, backed up, body hurting, aching, because she's trying to manipulate me for sex? Nah, I'm gonna tell her more than one time. If she don't step it up, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, which could mean divorcing her or whatever. But even when people say get a divorce, it's not that simple when you got a kids and a mortgage. It ain't simple when you got a 6-year-old or 5-year-old baby, and you trying to work through it. She's manipulating you. But prior to getting married, you were having sex left and right. What's your take on that?
I agree. I didn't look at it that way. Now, when you put it that way, you're right. You're, like I said, I'm learning from you on this podcast too, and you've been married longer than me, so you know already. Now, let me ask you this: for my clients so I have a client right now who told me that she's married. Her husband cheated on her twice in the marriage, and she still worked it out and took him back. They're going through counseling now.
Right.
Now, the last time he cheated, it's been about a year. That that she knows of him actually cheating. He's still doing the, the same routine, and that's how she knows that he can't be doing it now like he was before. But her problem now is she's saying that he still doesn't want sex at a higher rate. Now, I'm not going through that, so I could not offer her why he's doing that because I'm not a man.
Right.
But why do you think a man will still not have sex with his wife if he's already, let's say, had 2 affairs? Why do you think he's still shutting her out if they're working it out and she forgave him? Do you think he could still be doing it? She just can't prove it because he's going to work and coming home when he's supposed to. There's no time missed. So I told her I can't think like a man and say, well, maybe it's this. Why do you think a man would do that?
Right, excellent question. Well, it could be for a myriad of things. Some of it could be this complacency, or he's bored with what he got home. Men that have high proclivities, Daphne, for being with multiple women, they get a sexual urge. Sometimes pornography could be the reason, celebrity, that he doesn't have a high sex drive. Sometimes stress and not having the proper nutrient in his diet can be the reason. Or it could be that his wife had become so slovenly and she don't attract him anymore. He just don't want the sex from him. He just say, I don't want it because he's used to it. So it could be a myriad of different reasons why he's not being intimate with her. But I do know that familiarity breeds contempt. Some men don't find that women attractive anymore. Like, I still find my wife attractive after 27 years. She still got a cute body for having had 3 girls. But some men just don't. And then if they used to having sex with multiple women, they're bored. I'm like, damn, I'm used to having sex with multiple women, so I'm not tripping on her. But it's a myriad of reasons. I would have to hear all of it in context. But to say the least, low testosterone could be the reason. He could be utilizing pornography. He could be bored in the relationship. She could be rigid, where she's not giving him intimacy because of what he did to her. So it could be a myriad of reasons.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely tell her that. Because I don't like giving people the wrong advice, but right. I can't think like a man. But she's confident in herself that he's not out there cheating again because of his schedule. She knows what's going on. It's just that there's no intimacy at home. And I have given her ideas, go get you lingerie, go do this. She's done it all, and he's just not in the mood. She's a beautiful girl. She's in shape, so he can't say, "Well."
Oh, okay. That's weird.
Yeah. She said that's what I'm saying. So I told her, "Are you sure he's not cheating?" You said the porn thing, but he doesn't do that type of stuff. He doesn't watch porn. He's not into that. That's why he was out there cheating. But she told me that his schedule. He goes to work. He comes home on his days off. They're together. She tries to get him to do things, and he told her the one thing he told her last year in counseling. It's because I'm comfortable with you, I guess. But she said that she doesn't take that as an answer because he was out there pumping and dumping with these women, and these women weren't the same color as her. That's the only thing. So I told her either he's really attracted to that other type of woman I don't know, because she's black and the women that he had affairs with were white.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that's a good question, Celebrity. So it's a concept that Alan Roger Curry called the Madonna whore complex. Sometimes men could see their wife as the debutante, and they don't want to do the freaky sex with her because they put her on the pedestal. But the women that he cheated with, those are the whores. They're fun. They do sloppy sex. They do nasty, dirty sex. And they'll do dirty things with a woman they don't really care about because she's for fun. But when it comes down to the wife, he might see her as like, okay, she's too pristine to do the dirty stuff, if that makes sense. But it could be for a myriad of reasons. But the fact you told me she's in good shape, she's working now, she's keeping herself looking good, that's sort of weird, unless he's dealing with job-related stress, or he got low T, or he's used to raunchy, kinky sex with the women that he was sleeping with. It could be a myriad of reasons, but I would have to hear everything in context to get the full grasp, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, I definitely want to share that with you so you can help her too. I want to be able to help people and say, well, hey, maybe we can ask this person. She was already scared to come to me. She's married. And I thought, maybe he is still cheating. I don't know. But the therapy isn't making him more sexual. And she thought it was going to do that, but it hasn't. I think she told me that sometimes they go 2 months without it.
That's not normal. That's not normal.
That ain't normal. Go a month. So when I heard you say that, I thought about her and I'm like, oh, I can tell her that. He shouldn't be going that long, right? But she said sometimes he goes 2 months.
No, something's wrong. Something's wrong with that. If his wife is in good shape and she's fit and pretty, something is wrong, And I'm not saying he's on the down low, but could be on the down low. I'm not saying he is, but Something is wrong because I'm 51 and I struggle with a whole week. I mean,
someone said a work wife. I didn't think about that. Someone said a work wife.
Could be a work wife.
I didn't think about that.
Could
but
be a work
you just
wife,
said you couldn't go a week. So
I can't go
going
a week.
2 months. So you're telling me that a man that can go 2 months without sex, he's not, in her eyes, he's not cheating, but he has had 2 affairs. You think it's this? He's not turned on with the standard sex they have, and he wants to be with those
right.
That's a good answer.
That could be it. Yeah. Once you get used to, I mean, it depends on their background. Let's say they were raised in church. Men a lot of times don't want to do the real dirty sex with their wife. They'll do it with a whore, but they won't do it with their wife.
Right.
They respect her, but the whore, she do all kinds of stuff. She give them top, from the backside, do all kinds of stuff, flips and cartwheels, in the park. And so sometimes the man have a hard time seeing his wife in that negative aspect. You see my point? It's the Madonna and then it's the whore, but the whore, I can do dirt with the whore, but the Madonna, I got to treat her venerate her with respect. And that could be one of the reasons as well. But this is an awesome conversation. I'm loving this. I'm going to get deeper into this conversation. But guys, in the meantime, go check out Celebrity. I need, with the 55 people that are watching, guys, y'all need to share the stream because somebody need to hear what Celebrity and I are saying. We both are advocates for family and advocates for men in a time when masculinity is under attack. You're not going to find too many male therapists that went to an elite school, but also as a black man, but also tells things from a heteronormative perspective. And so, Celebrity, I can't go a whole week. I'll be calling on the Lord, man, calling on the ancestors and calling on Jesus because, the Leo and me, I got to get my daily bread every day, man, and I'm 51, so I got to get it in, man. So I don't know what's going on with a man that's going down 2 months and he ain't touching his wife. That's weird to me. That's extremely weird. But what does marriage mean to you when you think about the institution of marriage? And your husband got a good woman, based on what you're telling me. He has an excellent woman. I consider you a woman that's well venerated. But what does marriage mean to Celebrity? Because one thing I know about them Scorpio women from friends that I know, y'all are very loyal. I mean loyal to a fault. Y'all be singing that damn song by Roberta Flack, Do the Limit, Do the Wall, by Shaka Khan. Y'all be singing that song, Do the Fire, Do the Limit. Y'all are very loyal. I mean extremely loyal. But what does marriage mean to you, sis?
I've had to sum it up. It takes a lot of work because, I remember when people tell me, they say, it's easy to say, oh, I'm a good wife and I do all these things and I tell women to do this. It's because I do it myself. I love my husband. I never, want to make him think that I'm going to be in charge or I'm going to be the leader. If I know he's going through something, I want to talk about it. I want to be there to support him. I want to be there for him whenever he's having a bad day at work because I know who his bosses are. I know how that is. I want to be that person that he can call on. It wasn't easy. My husband wasn't one who opened up to me all the time at first because of his past relationships, right? And then he knew what I went through in my past. I just wanted to make sure that he didn't put me in that position to go through what I went through in my past relationship. Now, women today would go through what I went through and have a kid with this monster, right? I didn't. So that was one thing I wanted to make sure that I didn't do because I wasn't going to bring a child in the world with a man that's crazy like that. So I told my husband, I want to be able to work out anything that goes on in our marriage. I want to work it out. I want to grow. I want to get better because no marriage is perfect at all. So you have to be willing to put in the work. And I am loyal. I'm very loyal to my husband. I get inboxes from men who want to fly me out here and fly me out there. And I'm very private with how I look. Right. I don't do videos. I'm different. I'm not like your regular influencer. I'm not going to do a video with my breast out and say, man, you are valued. And they're looking at those big juicy lips thinking other things. I don't want men thinking sexually of me. So when women ask me why I don't post body selfies and stuff, for who? The only person that needs to see my body is who I'm at home with right now, my husband. I'm just not into the selfies. I post maybe 1 or 2 selfies a year if I'm lucky for my anniversaries, my birthday, maybe that's it. But I've stopped taking pictures of myself years ago because I want people to hear my message. It shouldn't matter what I look like, right? Am I an attractive woman? I sure am. But I'm not into my looks like that because they won't be here forever. They're going to fade, but the word will stay, right? So I want people to hear what I have to say. It shouldn't matter what I look like saying it. And being married, my husband trusts and he knows I would never put myself in a position where someone can say, oh, the accountability queen sent me news. You know, that'll never happen. I've had men try to set me up and, oh, what about this? And, oh, you look good. I don't even entertain it. I block people. And I don't just block people because I'm mean. I block because I don't need that in my spirit. I'm married. And when I say married, I don't care how attractive you are, how much money you make. I was offered $5,000 cash app to do a FaceTime video with a man and show him my breasts. Okay? Men do stupid stuff like that. Real stupid stuff like that. And you never get me off of my horse. Like I said, they always look for that one Derek Jackson moment. You won't find that with me. I'm very loyal. I love my husband. No man will make me change my mind. Okay? I'm not trying to get attention from men and dates with men. I want them to understand I care about them and I want to help them get better. And my husband knows everyone I talk to. We're open like that. I can leave my phone out. I have nothing to hide. So when you said loyalty, you're right about that. I am loyal and I never sell out. I never sell out. If anything, I get out before I sell out. You feel what I'm saying? So
I respect you highly, man. Your husband got a good woman. It's rare to find, but you know there are women in other countries that think like you. You find them more in foreign countries, but you are rare. And I got a question I want to ask you in a minute. But in the meantime, shout out to Ray Johnson for the 10, and then also shout out to Kevin White. They're loving the show, Celebrity. Kevin White for another 10. He said she's preaching facts, 5 for your mind. And Kevin White and Ray Johnson, because of your $10 love offering or super chat, you two brothers now are the number one sponsor for the stream. Thank you. So, you know, queen of accountability, you talk about privacy, you know, and you definitely a Scorpio because y'all very private. You know, you do a lot of avatars for your shows. Is there a reason for that, or you just do it because of your profession? Is there a reason why you do that?
Well, on top of helping people, I also do private investigating.
Oh, okay.
Too. So that's why when I get death threats, I'm able to find out who did it. People love to play with me to see if it's true. And even if you said it as a joke, oh, I'm going to kill you. I don't take anything like that lightly anymore. So I don't want people to know what I'm doing, how I'm looking. I like to come like a thief in the night where you don't see me coming. That's how I am. When it comes to avatars, usually I put a picture. This is just the one that I like to keep. Again, I'm not one to do a lot of pictures. I just don't, but I do have pictures on my social media. It's just that people like to take my pictures and use them and do other things to them. And I don't appreciate that. I have people add me to groups saying that I'm seeking men and I have DSLs and things like that. I've had people take pictures of my mother who's deceased and say things about her. If anybody has been following me, there was a group created in 2018 called Daphne Needs to Go. And it had 36,000 members and I got them shut down. And then they opened up a new group. It's the Reloaded. Daphne Has to Go. And that group has been climbing. I think it was like at 14,000 members. And I'm waiting for it to get to enough numbers so I can shut it down too. So again, people use my pictures for other things and I just don't like that. Like I said, I'm not one to take a lot of selfies because I don't think that has anything to do with the messages that I'm trying to put out there. And I don't want people to think about me in a sexual way. They already do because of my mask pictures and whatever, but that's fine. I don't care. But you're not going to see anything current. You see what I'm saying? I'm different. I've seen a lot of people on social media they're pushing this agenda that they're here to help men, but men are not really listening to what they're saying. These women are attractive. They got these big breasts, and I know what they're doing. See, I know what they're doing, but
it's a hustle game, right? It's a hustle game.
Right. Being married, I just feel like I like to protect my peace as well, and that's why I'm very private about my life. I do tell people about the domestic violence and things like that, but when it comes to like giving them a selfie every week, you'll never get that from me.
No doubt. I respect that. How did you learn about your failures of Celebrity? How did your failures help you? I'm sorry. How did your failures help you love your current husband better?
My failures? Like, you mean like what? Like bad relationships and things like that?
Yes, ma'am. Bad relationship. Yes, ma'am.
I didn't have many relationships. Like I know Nikki said in the comments that she's 23 and she's a virgin. I lost my virginity at 21. So Nikki, I'm proud of you. And it was harder back then, Nikki. It was harder. Everybody in school was doing it. You had everybody doing it. But me, I told my dad, I'm just not ready. And when I'm ready, I'll be ready. I don't regret who I lost it to either, because I took my time. Everybody I meet, 15, 16, that just wasn't me. So besides the abusive relationship, I was in a relationship for 2 years where we weren't sexual. We weren't at all. We were both virgins. It was beautiful. You know, I wasn't forced to do anything because he didn't know how to do anything. We were fine. So my first relationship was 2 years. Then I got into the abusive one for 3. And then I got into my marriage, this one. So I only had 3 real relationships in my life. The only time I was single was in high school. So that's the kind of woman I was. You know, in high school, I didn't want boyfriends. I was focused on graduating, right? So the only failure I would say would be the second relationship I got into, because I should have called his dad sooner. I waited too long. Now, it would have been too late if he actually connected and killed me or stabbed me somewhere vital. But thank God he stabbed me somewhere where it wasn't that vital. You know, so again, that's the only regret I have. It's just not calling sooner. I could have got this man help sooner. But I wouldn't call it a complete fail, because I learned how to really ask for help, because that, on top of losing my mom, I shouldn't have gotten that relationship to begin with. I should have healed myself, but no one told me about mental health. No one told me. And I didn't go to my dad because he had enough pressure, you know? So I didn't want to be a burden in anyone's life. So I held a lot of it in. I didn't even tell my sisters what I was going through, because what were they going to do? Oh, we'll fight him for you. Yeah, he would have hurt them too. So I kept everything inside. So if anything, when I got in my new relationship, I knew how to ask for help. And when I did get that help, even though he didn't understand it, when he did, he understood, and he was there right there by my side. He went through all of that pain I put him through with going to the hospital every other day because I was tripping. He was right there with me. So that's how I knew that he was going to be the one, because he could have been doing something else, right? And of course, on top of that, usually a parent can tell when someone's no good. So when I met his mom, she immediately said, that's a good woman. So I don't just act like I'm a good woman, and then when the lights go off, I'm crazy. I'm a good woman on and off social media. I really do care about people, and I think people think that that's what I do. I act like I'm this accountability queen, but then offline I'm not. I held my brother accountable. My brother was the biggest hoe I knew growing up. My brother's an attractive man, and he had all the women, right? And he met one that said, I think she's a good one. And I told her, he's a hoe. Don't date him. My brother is a hoe. He will use you. He would then go and date someone else. My brother was mad at me at the time, but he tells me now as an adult, thank you for holding me accountable. But even though I told this woman to stay away from my brother, she became my brother's first baby mama. So at the end of the day, I was holding my brother accountable. And this was back in the 2000s, 2010. I'm telling her, don't do it. And she still did it. So again, I always tried to help women, even if it meant saying, hey, don't talk to my brother. But these women didn't care. It was all about the looks. So again, I take pride on making sure people know what's right is going to be right and what's wrong is going to be wrong. And I just feel like if we don't take accountability for the things that we do in life, we will never grow. And that's what I did. Now, there were times where me and my husband might have got into it. I'm going downstairs. Fine, I'll stay upstairs. And then we come right back. My mom always said, don't let the sun go down bad at someone, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, losing my mother, she was the only person that I knew that was never scared of anything. My mother passed away because she got shot in the neck and it paralyzed her. Wow. And she survived 2 years before dying. Everyone else that got shot that night was executed right there, one bullet in the head. So my mom is the strongest person I know. So when people attack her, that's my weak spot. People know that because she didn't ask to be in that position, right? And I don't think anyone can go through what my mom went through for 2 years, let alone 2 minutes. I couldn't. So again, my strength comes from my mother. My mother was a strong Black woman, but she also allowed my dad to lead. She did. Her mother didn't like my dad, and she told my mom, well, you ain't gonna like this. I'm sticking with him. My mom told her mother, this is the man I'm gonna marry. If you don't like it, then you're disrespecting me. But I'm sticking with him. My mom taught me that. So that's why I will always put my husband first over my family. There won't be no discussion. My dad said, sit down, and my husband said, let's go. Dad, I'll see you tomorrow. That's the way it's going to be.
I respect that.
That's how I was raised. It will never change. But you got these women that don't get that. So yeah, I'm sorry for
No. What you're saying is very profound. When a man leaves his father or her father, when a woman leaves her father, She cleaves unto her husband. They become one flesh, and she's under his authority. Once he leaves, she leaves the home. So you're 1,000,000% correct. I respect you highly for that. You are a rare gem in modern times. There are women like you in other countries that think like you, but sadly, it's not a lot. And that's why men are traveling abroad to get wives. That's why they're going to other countries to find wives that think just like you, because men want traditional women that can be their peace. No man want to be looking behind his back, wondering if his woman's texting exes or she's doing this, or it impacts a man's ego. A man knowing that he can trust his woman is one of the most powerful things in the world. And you are a rare gem. You're very you're like in another time zone, because I'm going to assume you're probably in your mid-30s. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's fair to say. Look, I don't hide my age. I'm 37. I don't have to see women. You got a lot of these women on here that they like, especially these celebrities. They'll tell you can announce my birthday, but don't put the age. Age is wisdom. These women want to live long, but they don't want you to know their age. They don't go hand in hand. I'm 37 years old. I'll be 38 in October. I'm not afraid to say that. I don't care who calls me old. I hope you get to that age. Well, you call me old,
you don't. I mean, even though you are that age, your energy. I thought you were in your. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I can figure. I got good spatial reason. I really thought you was in your late 20s, but
I take it.
But your wisdom is so profound. So I said, no, she can't be that young to have that kind of wisdom. And so, even though just looking at your facial symmetry, you look young. You look young based on facial symmetry, but your wisdom is too profound. So I said she got to be around about 35. So no, I'm pretty good with spatial reasoning. Do black women have an ego, celebrity? And if so, what does it look like?
They do. They do have an ego. It's always a competition. We shouldn't be in competition with men. We shouldn't. We honestly shouldn't, because we are two different people, right? We should want to learn from each other. We should want to grow with each other. But this ego that they have, it starts in the house. Most of these women were raised by their mothers because they wouldn't let the dad be in the household because he was leading too much. See, my dad was very strict with 3 girls and a boy. My curfew was 10. My brother, who's 2 years younger, his was 11. Where they do that at? I did not respect my dad for that curfew. I used to get clowns in high school for that. But I respect why he did that. He said that there's certain hours where women are out there hoeing. That's what my dad used to say. And having 2 older sisters and none of us getting pregnant in high school. My 2 older sisters are unmarried, but they don't have kids. That's how my dad raised us. So when people say that black men are not taking care of their kids or they can't raise girls, that is a lie. My dad raised all of us, and my sisters are older than me and they don't have kids. My dad taught us that if you're going to have kids, make sure that you are married to that man. He wants us to be raised in a household where we have both. Because being raised without a mother is very hard. It is, So my dad did a damn good job. A black man, no government assistance, no healthcare assistance. He did everything on his own. He broke his back to make sure we were all good. And to this day, look at all of us. We're doing very well. So again, women and these egos come from their mothers. They teach them to have it. And then they look up to these celebrities or the Real Housewives of Atlanta, all that fake stuff that will never teach them anything positive. They'll teach them how to fight, how to throw a wig when they mad, but they're not going to teach them how to shut up, how to stay married. They want these $100,000 weddings. This ego is really big. It doesn't even fit. It's big. I mean, it's like a wig cap that they put on their head before they put the wig on, but this don't fit. It's too big. So a lot of these women, they don't want to let that ego go. They say, I want a man that's going to give me a $50,000 ring, $100,000 wedding, a $1 million house. You ain't going to get that. I can promise you that. Unless you marry someone old and is one sneeze away from dying, you might get lucky. But a lot of these women that ask for this stuff, it comes from what they see on TV. Right. Any woman that I know that watches Love and Hip Hop or Real Housewives, we not cool. We not friends. We're associates. Because my real friends don't watch that type of crap. You're not going to learn anything from that at all. I ask them, that's what you guys watch? What else do you guys watch? Well, anything that's on Lifetime. That's another red flag for me. So what I'm saying is a lot of these women, they tell me now, well, my mom told me this is the way it is. And when you grow up in a household where she's putting that down your throat every day, you tend to believe that that's what it is. And no one's going to change your mind, not even a good man. And they let these good men walk right out the door because their mom told them that this is how it has to be. But their mom ain't got nobody. So what I say is if you went to a dentist and he was missing 5 teeth, would you let him work on your mouth? No, I wouldn't. If you went to go get your hair done and get that wig rotated, and this person's losing their hair, they wig falling off, would you? No, I wouldn't. Okay, so then why would you listen to a single bitter woman like your mother? Because that's what she is, single and bitter and old. The wall hit. We call it the wall. You know, most of these women, their mothers are in their 40s, late 40s, because they had them young, right? So again, all I can do is tell women that if you really want to grow and you want to be a good wife one day, first you got to work on yourself. The problem is you. You are the problem. You're the problem. And then when you try to date a man, now you're bringing all your negative energy into him. Now we got two problems, right? But if we work on ourselves first, you know, and work on what's making us mad and angry, and then we release all that and we get with a man, he's going to get the best version of us. That's what's going to keep you married, right? True. Anybody can get married, but how many people stay married? Not many,
stay
right?
married. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Very profound wisdom. You know, when you think about ego defense mechanisms, one is denial, one is projection, one is displaced aggression. In the clinical world, we call it reaction formation. But between denial and projection, which ego defense mechanism do you see the most on celebrity in the modern woman?
Projection. They're insecure. They do it to me every day. When women call me a pick me, they call me, you know, ugly and all these names that I know I'm not. It's because that's how they feel about themselves, but they're projecting it onto me instead of them acknowledging that this is my problem. They want to make it about me, and it's not really about me. They're projecting it, and they do that all day. When a man rejects them, oh, you little thing having, you no stroke having, okay, but he hit that, didn't he? With that no stroke, right? So again, a lot of women project their insecurities onto me because they don't want to work on themselves. And it's a great way to mask their problems by attacking a stranger online and making death threats to them online and talking about their dead mom online. That's all projection, because in reality, they're asking me for help, but instead they're masking it by trying to hurt me. That's not going to work. That's not going to work anymore. So I think projection is the biggest thing. Most women that come in my inbox with this anger, it's because they're going through something themselves. And instead of getting help, they would rather project that onto me, hoping that I will change and say something back to them that can get me in trouble. It ain't going to work.
Shout out to my man Gregory Scotland for the 10. He said, shout out to Kosher and Accountability Queen. In 2023, I'm expecting more good women to speak out against these hyenas, and that's a deal, right? I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? I appreciate that. You talk about a lot of things, celebrity, and like I said, I met you I saw you in Up City, and I love what you were talking about. And we talk about projection and the impact of projection on relationships, and also being in denial. How does projection, in your opinion, impact marriages and more or less reduce intimacy, in your opinion? Well, they don't. The question. Go ahead.
It doesn't last, because if all you're doing is projecting your issues onto someone, how do you expect them to love you? How do you expect them to be there for you? Instead of you acknowledging that you have a problem, you'd rather cause an argument every day when he comes through the house. Men don't want to go through that. They don't. It can affect not only a marriage, but the relationship before the marriage. Most men are not going to wife these hyenas who are loud and masculine. They're not. If you got a problem, use that same mouth that you're trying to bash me with to tell me what's bothering you. What are you so mad about? I had a woman on my show that told me that she was molested at 11, but never told her baby daddy that. If you would have told him that instead of arguing with him and creating all this chaos, you probably could have saved that relationship, right? And at the end of the day, women know how to use their mouth. They do. They know how to voice when there's an issue. They can tell a man they can tell you on Facebook how a man can cheat. They can tell you on Facebook how a man can leave you for this woman, how a man can abandon his kids. But when you ask him, okay, now tell me how you can get better with yourself. Tell me what you're doing wrong. They have nothing to say because they're so busy projecting and judging that they don't want to reflect on themselves. Right. When you show them the mirror, they report you for hate speech. See, because now you're showing them why they're projecting. It's you. Look at yourself in the mirror. You are the problem. But see, a lot of them don't want to acknowledge that. So instead, they take it out on people in their relationships, friendships, jobs, and they never progress. They just get older and more aggressive and more aggressive. And that's dangerous. And whoever's at the end of that aggression, good luck. So all I'm saying is that's why I tell men, make sure you talk to these women. A lot of them lie to you and tell you that they've had a perfect life. And you don't know that this woman was messed up at the age of 11 or 12. Because
Right.
she's not going to tell you that unless you pick at it. You have to do that. I tell men now, it's like a job. Even a job does a background check, right?
Right.
So what are you waiting for?
Right.
I tell these women that want all these things, ask them to see their credit score. Guarantee you they'll block you.
Right. I agree with you 1,000%. You know, you compare, look up the whole facts too. You want to do a thorough background check, because what men don't understand, a woman could be bringing the spirits of previous partners into relationships. Her promiscuity can impact your marriage because she's projecting the pain or the displaced aggression that she had towards that man onto you, a man that had nothing to do with it. And I'm a firm believer that's why a lot of these marriages don't work. Unresolved issues from college, unresolved issues from childhood. They still dealing with the spirits of the men that broke their hearts. And it caused them not to be good wives in relationships. And you are one of the few sisters in this space that's saying something very profound. You're very keen in your insight and very keen in your wisdom. You know, what are some of the most outlandish stories you've heard, Celebrity, from men as it relates to women betraying them in relationships, and how it impacted their mental health? Maybe give me one or two if you can, please.
You know what? One of these stories, this was actually sent to me by a white woman. And this one sticks with me a lot today because it was scary. Well, she was a neighbor to a black woman and her boyfriend. They've been, dating a long time, and they always have arguments. And she said one day they were out in the street arguing. She was screaming, and she came out there to be nosy, act like she was taking the trash in. And what she saw was him say, you know what? F this, I'm done. He started walking away, and she was behind him, hitting him in the back. No, you come back, and pop, hitting him and hitting him and hitting him. So she said when she saw that, she went into the house real quick to get her phone because she was going to record it. But in that same breath, the cops rolled up, and you can hear them telling him to get on his knees. One thing I hate that cops do is when they tell men to get down on their knees. It's like they want that control. They want you at a low point, right? Just so they can tell you to get up so they can handcuff you, right? It never made sense to me, but whatever. But she said when she saw that, the woman was screaming and crying, yeah, he hit me and he did that. And she was just bawling her eyes out. And that's why they handcuffed him, right? She said that as they were taking him to the car, she was out there. Neighbors were coming out there being nosy. And they were like, well, what happened? Well, yes, she said that he was hitting on her and he would not let her leave. She was like, no, that's not what happened. I saw what happened. She was hitting on him. He said, F this, like he was done with the relationship, and she was hitting him from the back. And they were like, well, you should tell the cop. She told the cop, look, I witnessed the whole thing. That man said F it, like he was done, and was walking away, and she was beating him in the back. I was running in to get my phone, and you guys just happened to pull up. She was like, no, that guy is innocent. So the cop said, uncuff him and cuff her. She said the woman looked her in the face and said, when I get out, I'm going to beat the F out of you. And then the cops was like, now you have a threat charge. And she was like, I don't care. I don't know how to fight anyway. I'm okay with that. But she said, Daphne, you teaching women to hold other women accountable is why I did it. She said, so even if the woman beats me up, I'm okay with that. At least I was able to save that man from going to jail. So that stuck with me because a lot of women wouldn't care that a man is going, right? They might have something against a man. So it's like girl code, you don't tell. And she did, even if it meant risking her getting beat up. So I thought that was a great story because it showed me that women are actually learning from what I'm telling them. Take accountability, hold other women accountable. You might get fired for it, but hey, at least you did the right thing. And that's what she did. So yeah, that was one of the stories that stuck with me. Another one I would say is one of my clients who saw his friend's daughter, one of his best friend's daughter in a 21 and up club. And he knew she wasn't 21. She was, I believe, 16 years old. Right. And when he spotted her, he asked her, what are you doing here? And she told him, I got in with a fake ID. And he said, you need to give me the ID and leave. And she told him, if you tell my dad, I'll tell my dad you tried to F me. So he told me that it scared him. It scared him so bad that he paid for his drink and he left because he was scared. And he said he didn't want to tell his homeboy because he felt like if he did, she would really win that argument. She's a woman. She knows how to act and cry. But he said the fact that she was in a 21 and up club and she looked so adult, he couldn't believe it was her. But he knew it was her because he's seen her with makeup before. But this time she had on, sexy clothes and all that. But he was asking for my advice. Should I tell him? I told him he should tell the dad, but he said that that's one he's not going to do because he's scared. He said, I think this will piss him off and he's not going to believe me because that's his daughter, his baby. He didn't see what I saw. And then people were saying, well, why didn't you take a picture? That can go bad too. You took a picture of my daughter. Men look at that and they think, well, why would you have a picture of my daughter on your phone? He said he didn't want to do anything to get him in trouble because she was a minor at the end of the day. So instead, he paid for his drink and he left. And he was telling me that's just one thing I can't do. And I just thought that, doing the right thing would be to tell him. Because what if the wrong man takes her home and finds out that she's a minor? It might go bad too. It can go bad. So in that light, I told him I still think you should have said something. Or you could have called him on FaceTime and said, look who's in the club, bro. He said, but she still could have told him that I made a pass at her, right? And I said, oh, I didn't look at it like that. So I saw his point of view. And then I said, you know what? At the end of the day, he knows his boy better than I do. And I just told him that the person in me, I would have said something, even if it meant him getting mad, because I'm sure that that's not the first time she's done that, went to a club before. But at the same time, it can get dangerous for these women. And women do that now. They lie about their age and they put these men in predicaments where they can go to jail. And I'm tired of these mothers acting like their daughters are not fast as lightning. They're hoes. And it's because you taught them that. You know your daughter is fast, but you don't want to acknowledge it, right? Until somebody hits it and he's older and now you want to get a case on this man, right? That's happening right now. I tell these men the fake IDs are looking a lot better. They're not like they were back in my time where they were too fat and you knew that wasn't you. Now these IDs are so real. It's the exact picture of the person you're talking to, but they're saying that person's 21. So I'm just saying, man, it's a dangerous game out here. And I try to teach women to stop lying about their age. There was a hyena who said her 12-year-old daughter was missing. I went to that hyena's page. The picture she had of her daughter was an innocent girl that had braids that were getting old. So her new growth was coming out of her scalp. She looked like a 12-year-old girl. I said, wow, this innocent flower. Let me help. But then something said, Daphne, keep looking. I went all the way through her page. That same innocent 12-year-old, I saw a picture of that 12-year-old with a lace wig on, and she was bent over with her tongue out with a miniskirt on. She looked 30. So the mom was using that sad picture, but that picture I saw, that person looked 30. The guy that took her to the store was 24, and she told him that she was 19. She could have passed for 19, even though she was 12. This girl was developed. It was scary. Right. So when he came back and dropped her off, the cops were there. They tried to grab him, and he had proof that she lied about her age. But the mom didn't want to acknowledge that her daughter lied, so she shut her whole Facebook down.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And you're right. A lot of these girls are very manipulative and very maniacal. Shout out to my man, My 2 Cents, celebrity. They're loving you, sis. They say, wow, she is very, very unique. She gets it. Keep not showing what belongs to your husband, no doubt. Keep guarding what belongs to your family. I haven't heard a woman say these things, and I haven't heard a woman say things this so in depth since my teens, the 90s. I don't think it's too many like her, and it's not. And your husband is extremely blessed to have you. He's a blessed man. He's a very fortunate man, and you remind me of the women from the old school. I'm class of '90. I'm Gen X. And you got a bright soul and you're a better person. And you're the kind of sister, the masculine man to go to war for. He'll die for a woman like yourself because you're a good woman and you're rare. And I count it an honor to have a conversation with you on tonight because you are so rare. But in the meantime, My 2 Cents, because of your kind love offering, and because your love offering does hold the highest weight, brother, you are the #1 sponsor, brother, of this stream. Thank you, My 2 Cent, man. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your time. And thank you, brother, for that very gracious super chat. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you for those words. It means a lot when men tell me that I am doing them justice and helping them out. All advice is good advice.
You Celebrity, it sounds like you grew up in the faith. What role did faith play in your evolution as a woman and also loving your husband?
My faith was strong when my mother survived. Because I'm telling you, you got these Christianities, Jehovah's Witness, you have all that. I just believe in the higher power. I know who died for my sins. I know that there is a God who cares about us and loves us. And a lot of people might think I'm crazy for saying that. Everybody's beliefs are different. But when my mother got shot in the neck with a 9, those bullets, they travel, right? Her bullet went through the neck and it came out of her shoulder. Missed everything. The juggler missed it. And she laid on that ground for 8 hours being eaten by ants and bugs and everything you could think of until someone actually called 911 for help. When she got to the hospital, that's when she flatlined 3 times and they brought her back. No one can tell me anything. So when people tell me that God doesn't exist, that's your way of putting it. But I know people who said there isn't a God and you're believing these fake all this until they mom got cancer and then they're like, oh, God help. And it's funny how they come to him like that. But I know what he did for me. My mother was supposed to die. Okay. She wasn't supposed to survive. She survived for 2 years and she spoke for all the other people who died instantly that night. She was their voice. She even told the judge not to give the young man death, give him life. And he was only 17 at the time. And she told the judge, I don't want him to die. I want him to get his life right. And I want his family to still be able to come and visit him. And then when my mom died 2 years later, they turned it into the death penalty. Now, you would think that this happening in 2002, my mom passing away, that it would be over with, but it's not. He's been appealing ever since then. And now we're going to have to go to court next month. I'm going to have to do it via Zoom to see why this man can't accept his fate now. We can't control the narrative now. They want to give him death. And we're still battling that. So I know what my mom said, and they want us to do victim impact statements. We never did them as kids when she died. We just didn't do it. They want our statements now. And my statement will be to let the man live. I don't want him to die. If my mom didn't want him to, I'm not going to. I forgave him already. Right. My faith was strong because of how my mother survived her incident to live 2 years, to speak her truth, and to die in a way where she was ready to go anyways. She wasn't scared to go. So if anyone told me, oh, that was luck, I don't call it luck at all. As soon as she got to the hospital, she flatlined 3 times. Why didn't she flatline on the ground? 8 hours. I mean, they said she had so many bug bites. I get teary-eyed thinking about it because I know I'm not strong as she is. I would have died that night. She said she kept her eyes open and she's seen people running past. She can hear them, but nobody came to help her, right? She just said that. She said, I'm going to keep my eyes open because I got to get home to my babies. And for my mom to think about us during that time, like I said, my mother is a strong woman and she's the reason why I'm here today. I almost died in her stomach. I wasn't supposed to be here myself. So I've always been a fighter in my whole life. I never gave up. But my umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck. I was supposed to die and they had to cut me out. I was her first C-section and she was terrified. And this is back in the 80s. So my mom told me that I literally died and they brought me back. That cord was around me so tight. And when I came out, I was moving, like fighting, like let me live, So I've always been a fighter. And I know there's a reason why I'm here. And I think I'm supposed to be here to try to help people. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. So my faith has always been strong because of how I was brought into this world and how my mother survived something like that for 2 years that was so traumatic. And she never blamed anyone. She never hated the guy that did it. I did as a kid, but I learned how to not do that, but she never once said she hated that black man. She said that she loved him and that she hoped that he got his life better. And I just couldn't believe she said that. People in the courtroom thought she was on meds and she wasn't. She meant that from her heart. So again, my faith is strong because I've seen how my mother survived that attack that night and lived for 2 years to speak her truth.
Celebrity Gregory Scott asked a question. He said, Coach, can you ask the Queen, what is her take on saving the community crowd? Who think that quality black man, what does she think about quality black men being the cleanup man for single baby mamas?
Is he saying like as far as getting into a relationship with women with kids?
Well, basically, I think what he's asking, what's your take? So there are some people that say black men should just come back, save the community, get with women that got kids by multiple men or one or whatever. And then he more or less asked, what do you think about, who think that quality black man should be the clean up bros and wife, single mom. So basically, a single man with no kids, the community expects him to come back and be a surrogate for a woman that was irresponsible with her womb. And basically, he just be a sucker for a woman that didn't respect her body or herself after Raekwon the Man plugged her with a bunch of babies.
I've never heard of it. I think whoever said that men should be the ones saving them, I think they were on drugs when they said it, because it's not their job to do that. These quality single men do not have to choose a woman who's made countless mistakes and don't want to own up to them in her life. Right. Again, when women tell me that they chose a bad man and they had a kid with him and they got 3 kids for 3 men, I'm not going to buy that. That's not to me. That's a cop out for you saying that you chose bad men because you wanted those bad men. Right. That's how I get it. Usually after the first kid, you usually wise up if you know that you made a bad decision in a man. You don't keep having kids, right? But that's what these women do. And it's not a man's job to do that. No, it's not. Those women need to fix themselves and find a man that has kids too. But I'm not saying men don't do that. You got some men that will meet a woman that has multiple kids and multiple baby daddies and it works out. How? I don't know. I can't speak for them. But they see something in her that they like, that they want to stick around for. But it is not the man's job, especially our black men, to come into a community of a bunch of baby mamas, and try to fix it and be there for them. They have to fix themselves first. And I would tell a woman, if you got all these kids by all these men, the last thing you should be doing is looking for a high quality man when you're not high quality. Okay? Can't do that. Can't do that. I can't ask for a man to make 6 figures and I'm only making $50 a week. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. We have to match each other's energy, match each other's level. So that's why I tell women, when you ask for these men not to have kids, but you got 4, good luck. If you go to these dating apps, these women put in there, I want a man that doesn't have any kids, but she'll say mother of 3 kings. 3 kings? 3 kings? So what I'm saying is, these women need to fix themselves. It's not the man's job, especially a quality man that ain't got no kids, got a good job, got his own place, to come into a community like that and try to fix it. No, they have to fix themselves. That's like us telling women to come to the south side of Chicago and stop all this gun violence, black on black. What they gonna say? That's not our job to do, right? It's the politician's job, right? So it goes both ways. It's not a black man's job to come into a community of women who decided to have all these bastard kids and be their savior. No, it won't work. Don't you think the men that they had kids with tried that already? And look what happened. Somebody got tired of her. Somebody said, I can't deal with this woman. All these women that they see on Instagram that are single, but they got these beautiful bodies and this beautiful face. They're single for a reason. How come y'all not putting that together? Because if she's a good woman, ain't no man letting that go. No.
Right.
Come on, guys.
And I'm going to tell you something. I know it's true. I got a situation with my own daughter. She got married, but, at the time, I really didn't, I thought she should have made a better choice. But after I did the research, the brother's not a bad brother. But one thing I do know, he wiped her up he wiped my daughter up fast, quick. Didn't tell me about it. But I'm very masculine and dominant. I'm very demanding on what I want. Right. But he didn't leave on the market long. I mean, he wiped up quick. Because even though me and my daughter might clash, and if she's listening, I do love you, even though you get on my nerves. I do love my daughter. But even though we do clash, or we did clash because she didn't want to respect my order and my authority as a father, I did raise her to be a woman that can love a man. My daughter knows how to cook. She's a damn good cleaner. My wife cleans well too, but she probably cleans as good or better than my wife. She can cook. You don't find too many 23-year-olds, 24-year-olds that can do that celebrity. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. And she loves her husband. So I'm happy for him and her because he got a good woman when he got my daughter. We clashed because she thought she was going to be the alpha dog. And I said, no, I'm the damn alpha dog in this relationship. It'll be a cold day in hell when I stop being the man in my house. And if anybody want to try me, either I'm going to take you or you're going to take me. But like I used to always say, either I get you from the hip or I get you with the clip. It's either one. And I don't believe in violence, but I will use violence to protect myself and my family if I have to. I will take you to see the good Lord if you mess with me. But you're right. Good women don't stay on the market long. If a man's really serious about you, if it's something about that woman's fire, how she's raised, a woman like yourself, it didn't take your husband long to marry you. He saw a good woman, he took you off the market fast. And so these guys that's taking forever to marry a woman, something's either wrong with that man mentally or he's just tagging that woman along for the benefits. But in general, he defines a wife, finds a good thing and obtains favor in the sight of God. And so when a man get a good woman, he's going to take that woman off the market real fast. My 2 cents said, I can't do it. He said, I'm childless. I want a family of my own. But it looks like I'm going to have to go overseas, unfortunately, because I've tried with black women here. The black woman in America, let's talk about the power of being feminine. How has femininity made your relationship stronger, Celebrity? And many women think that box alone will keep a man. I'm going to do a show at some point talking about box theory, because you got what's called masculine box, which is a hyena, and then you got feminine box. Masculine box would be like Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. Those are the kind of women say, I don't cook, I don't clean. But when a person understands a woman is feminine and she got some good box too, oh, that is powerful. Because what women don't understand, a man that has a very evolved ego, Celebrity, sex might get him in a relationship, but it won't keep him. A man that got women, used to women, have had women, he got money and status, he knows what his worth is, he knows what his value is. Boo, your box alone ain't gonna keep that man. But if you're a feminine woman and you got good box or decent box, sometime a man will take a woman with decent box and marry her, and she's feminine over a woman that got some fire box, but she's very masculine. What's your take on that and the power of femininity?
I agree. I just think with me, I went through a lot in my last relationship, and I wanted to make sure he knew I wasn't going to bring that into our relationship, meaning, being tough, being hard for him to talk to, hard for him to have a conversation with. Because most people that go through what I went through, they're hard to deal with. They have this big wall. So I didn't put a wall up like that with him, because I had to understand that he wasn't the guy I had just escaped from. I could not put them on the same level because I didn't know this man all the way through yet. I knew this man. So I said to myself, my next relationship, I'm not going to assume he's going to be like this guy. I have to get to know him. I got to know him. We played basketball for a few months, and then we went on our first date. It took a few months, though, because I wanted to move really slow, and I wanted him to know that I'm not trying to jump into anything. I'm really genuinely trying to get to know him and make sure that we both click. So being able to be vulnerable when I needed to be, nurturing where I needed to be, being able to speak to him, being sensitive, being empathetic, those were things that came with my relationship. Because he went through his things too. He went through times too where I had to be there for him. Even if I was going through my time, I wanted to be there for him. So being soft, to me, it came easy because I learned to be softer by toning down my attitude and not taking things out on him that he didn't do. I can't blame him for the things that I went through. Right. So at the end of the day, I knew that getting into this relationship, I had to take it slow, ask questions, open up to him, and let him know what I experienced. He was really upset. He was the type of person that said, well, where does he live now? So I can go and put these hands on him. Well, it's too late. He's in another state. Now I want you to focus on us. We need to grow. So again, at the same time, it wasn't easy because I was abused for 3 years. 3 years. So there were times where he might have done something like he's going to reach for the remote and I duck. Man, that's one thing he did not like. And I thought I was going to lose him because of that. It wasn't him. I couldn't help that because usually when he reached, it was to punch me. And I didn't see it coming. Right. So that was the only thing that affected my relationship. And we would have a little bit of arguments in the beginning of it because he didn't understand that I would get hit for no reason. People think when you're in an abusive relationship, you have to do something to be hit. He would just out of nowhere hit me for no reason. We could be watching something on TV and it was a trigger for him and bap, sucker punch me right in the face. You hear my jaw break. He did those things and I had to hide it. Oh, basketball did that. So when he would do certain things, I would duck. I even did it in public once at the store. Oh man, he didn't like that too much. He didn't because we were at a store one time and he took some milk duds and he threw them at me and he hit me right in the eye and it cut me right there in the eye. Them milk duds at the edge of that box was sharp. So little triggers like that affected me and I had to tell him the full scope of my abuse and then he understood. So sometimes when you reach, I might duck because,
Right, that's PTSD.
So
PTSD.
Yeah, it was hard. And those were things, I didn't know what PTSD was at that time. So he would just be like, look, I'm not going to hit you. I will never, ever hit you. I promise you. He never has hit me, never. Even though no matter how mad we got at each other, he never hit me. So it was just things that I had to let go. Because for 3 years, that's what I experienced, right? Waking up and you got a pillow over your face. I'm just playing. I'm not trying to kill you. But he really was. So I'm just thankful I made it out of there. That man had so many issues that I couldn't uncover. And I just thank God that he got that help. And it took him leaving the state to get the help. And I think his dad probably saw what his mom was doing or knew about it and said, you know what? He's like his mama. I'm gonna have to get him some help. And maybe that's why he left his mama. I don't know why his dad left her, but I'm assuming she was an aggressive hyena, right? So again, I'm just glad I saved his life, and to this day, I don't know if he ever thinks about it. We don't even talk. Since the email, I haven't spoken to him, but I'm thankful to know that he's married now with 3 kids, and that's just coming from mutual friends who knew us. And they were just like, he has daughters, so he's being punished. And I'm like, whatever. If people believe that, they can believe it. But I'm just glad he got help, because if he didn't, I think he would have killed someone, and it would have been me. So I just think being feminine is something that comes natural to me, because I learned how to know my role and shut my mouth. Remember, The Rock used to say that, know your role and shut your mouth. That applies in relationships, not shut your mouth like don't speak. But women have to know their role. Women are the main reasons why a lot of these guys out here in Chicago get killed. They over here, don't look at me like that. A man might say you look good, and a woman will blow it up and then say, I'm gonna tell my boyfriend. And then the boyfriend gets his head blown off. That happens a lot out here because these women are so tough and they think they have to be hard. All he said was, you have a nice wig, and you blown it up like he said he wanted to hit it from behind and grab the wig. So women do that. They just have attitudes. That's why when I relocated with my husband, he's from Chicago. So when I came here from where I'm from, and I've been out here for almost 11 years, I'm different. When I see people in public, I say hi. I might be at a grocery store. Yes, ma'am. Yep. They look at me like, you can't be from here. I've had people tell me more, I'm not from here because I'm polite. Ain't that crazy? Women don't just say good morning. Women don't say, how's your day? They have that steak face. You know that, have you ever seen that movie, The Wash, with Snoop Dogg and Johnson? Remember when he was at the teller and he was going for that interview with Mr. Wash, and she looked at him with that ugly face, like she already had an attitude? That's the faces that these women make out here in Chicago. They're already mad. Mad about what? What you mad about? So that's how a lot of people knew I wasn't from here, because I carry myself in a good way. I'm feminine. I'm not tough. I'm not hard. Right. I'm going to say good morning back. I'm not going to assume you saying good morning means you want to hit. Right. So that's what I've learned out here. When I got out here, I just didn't speak, and I didn't exuberate that negative energy like these women do. So yeah.
Shout out, yeah, no doubt. Shout out to my man Gregory, Cody Marshall for the 5. He said them type of women got that demon box. They will have you on a rest in peace T-shirt. No doubt, I appreciate. And also shout out to my man Harrison Spencer Jr. for the $2.50 cash app. One of the things, and I want to be mindful of your time. You're a married woman. I respect you for taking the time to come up here, and I'm going to let you go in a minute. I'm enjoying the conversation, by the way. You are awesome interviewee. But the Derek Jackson effect, I heard you talk about how salacious Derek Jackson has been and is, and even him taking some of your talking points. But it's safe to say that Derek Jackson might be a bona fide narcissist or have narcissistic personality disorder. I'm not diagnosing him, but one could argue that. But when you think about the Derek Jackson effect, why do so many women believe Derek Jackson? And before you answer that question, Derek Jackson, in my mind, and like so many men, even though he's brilliant, he's a snake whisperer.
Follow me, baby. The elders are old and out of touch. I have the power to help you become the better version of yourself. Listen to me. I know what's best for you. I am the snake whisperer.
Derek Jackson is a snake whisperer. Many love men that have Machiavellian traits or dark triad traits, which is Machiavellianism, which is the ability to influence using charisma to do either politics or social media. That's a Machiavellian effect. Then you have what's called psychopathy, and then you also have what's called narcissism, the aggrandizement of love for self. But when you think about the Derek Jackson effect, why are so many women mesmerized by dark personality traits like Derek Jackson? And what do you normally do in this loaded question to warn women or men as such?
So it's what you said. Derek Jackson, he knows that a lot of those women that follow him are sexually attracted to him. So him putting on those small shirts for his big frame, sitting inside of a car and looking directly at the camera and telling women, I love stretch marks. You are not the problem. You're beautiful. But you cheated on your wife with women who are the opposite of what you said you like, right? The women, right. He wanted a woman that was, his wife was to me a beautiful woman, natural, good hair, didn't wear makeup, wasn't into the, the nails and the all the crazy stuff. She was a natural, strong woman, in my opinion. But he cheated on her with these hair hat hooligans who had BBLs, who like getting flued out, who didn't know how to speak a proper sentence, who was seen in the nightlife, drinking and smoking. That's what he wanted. See, he wanted to be single ever since he blew up on social media. People knew that wasn't going to last for him, the marriage, because he knew that women were in his inbox and he entertained it. And when he stole my stuff and I came for him, he didn't even want to be the bigger person to say I was wrong. Instead, he would just let me strike him. That's what he did. He was that arrogant. And then I remember him telling someone, I don't even know who celebrity is. She's a nobody. But you shared 5 of my posts that have my face on it. He'll put his name over my name, but my face is still there. Come on, Derek. So when he disrespected me like that 5 different times, I knew what it was. And he said, why would I steal from someone with a little bit of followers? I'm in the millions. Well, because you don't have anything to post. So you need my stuff to get you there. So again, he can talk about me all he wants, but what he did to his wife was dirty. Because when he cheated the first time, everyone knew it wasn't going to stop because he was getting bigger and bigger. This man makes a lot of money. I found out all about him, and him only having the bachelor's, but you're giving out dating advice and you have no credentials to do that. Mm-hmm. And then you never want to tell men how to avoid toxic women, but you had all your shows about women avoiding toxic men, and you were that man. And even after he got exposed, he became bigger. It didn't do anything for him negative. I don't think he lost anything, but I told people, be on the lookout for his book. He is going to write the blueprint on how he played his wife, and he's going to say, ladies, this will help you in your relationship. He's going to profit off of this. Right now, he's writing the book, in my opinion. He's writing it up. He's going to come out with a book or someone's going to do a movie. Watch what I'm saying right now. He's going to profit off of this because that's what Derek does. Remember, he still has kids he has to feed. And because he cheated and they do a divorce, he's going to be in some trouble. Because he wasn't worth like $5 million. He was worth less than $1 million. So again, he created all this chaos and he wasn't trying to fix his marriage. Mm-hmm. I think he's been wanting to be single for a long time. And if it wasn't for that hair hat hooligan calling him out like that, he would still be cheating. And the woman he cheated with, she then said, I'm going to do a tell-all book on how his stroke game was average. Now she's clowning him because he moved on from her. So again, this man did a lot of damage to a woman, but these women don't care because of his looks. If Derek Jackson was telling them to hold themselves accountable for their masculine behavior, he would be a small shirt wearing on a big frame, small thing having, they would call him every name in the book. But because he's catering to them and telling them everything they want to hear, they don't see the negative. See, I can't do that. I'm like Kevin Samuels. I'm going to tell you, no, the dress don't make you look fat. It's the fat that makes you look fat. You need to go into the gym. But see, these men on social media who want money from women will say, I love Rose. I can be kept warm at night. They're lying. But then when they hit cut, they go home to their size 2. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So all I'm saying is speaking your truth. Don't lie to these women. You have to tell them the truth in order for them to grow. So I'm not going to tell a woman a pretty lie. You're going to get this ugly truth that's going to get me on a ban, but that's okay. At least I got the truth out, right?
Right. Well, real quick, and I'm going to let you go in a minute, and because once again, I want to be mindful because you are a married woman. I respect your time, and I want to make sure you in unison with your husband. But some will argue that his wife knew what he was doing, and she was complicit in her own demise. What do you say about that? And then I got one more question for you. I'm going to let you go.
I'm 50-50 on that. I think she knew, but didn't have any proof. Because she was doing her own stuff. When I saw her in a pool with full clothes on, I knew something was wrong with that woman. Then when she did the video wishing death on people who were talking bad about her husband, I knew she wasn't there. She needed counseling when he cheated the first time, but she didn't get it. She just rolled with it. I think because the money's coming in, everybody's eating, you're able to do trips and all that clouded her judgment, right? I was told when they would go on these little seminars, he had her working the front. You don't have your wife doing the work. You hire an assistant to do the work. Your wife should be right next to you when you're telling all these women about how to stay in relationships. But he didn't want his wife in that light because she wasn't that perfect model looking type of woman. So he kept her doing all the work. So I knew that when he cheated the first time, I said, if they don't get help, he's going to do it again. And he did. And it wasn't just that woman. There's a lot of women that he did that with. Almost got a few pregnant. He's out here becoming the city boy that he wanted to be. I don't think he ever wanted to be married. As soon as he blew up, he didn't want to stay with her because she doesn't fit that narrative of the woman that he really wants. See, he'd tell a woman, I don't want a woman that wears a weave, but these women he cheated with wore wigs and weaves up the butt. All that makeup, those big lashes, those long nails with 62 types of germs underneath their nails. That's what he was attracted to. But you were going home to a woman that was natural, a woman that didn't wear any makeup. She actually didn't need no makeup until she opened her mouth. And then I said, yeah, that woman is trouble. So again, I honestly think that in that light right there, he messed up a great thing with her. He's never going to settle. And if he does decide to like a woman, she's going to do him like he did his wife. It always happens that way. So when the money runs out, those women won't be around. So he needs to come out with that book soon so he can stay afloat, because that divorce is going to, it's going to lighten his pockets. It really is.
Well, you know, and I'm not going to get too much more deeper into that, but there was some that said that she knew what type of man he was. And she actually, in the earlier stages of dating, a good friend of mine gave me the evidence, actually supported him being with multiple women, but she wanted to play her role so she can be part of it. Some women just love toxic men. They love that toxic penis. And they know he might have another woman on the side, but they don't care. They just want to be part of it. So she might not be quite the victim that we think she is. But anyway, Kevin Samuels, in this last question, what did he mean to you? Question number one in this loaded question. And then number two, what did you get from the show real quick?
You said, what did Kevin Samuels mean to me?
What did Kevin Samuels mean to you? Yes, ma'am. And then the second question would be, how was the show beneficial and what did you get from it?
Okay. So Kevin Samuels, to me, I think he spoke the truth. There were times where I was like, come on, Kevin, you know that woman, you over here trying to be cute with these women. Like, there were a couple times where he might have done an interview with, like, let's say Brittany Rayner or Tommy from Love and Hip Hop. We know Tommy from Love and Hip Hop is known for abusing her own daughter, known for jumping from man to man, and her face and body has went through metamorphosis. She has a prison record. She has like maybe 40 mugshots online right now. And when she did his show, he was really soft with her. He didn't talk about how she looked like a Build-A-Bear. He didn't go in on her like he would a woman that looked like Whoopi Goldberg. You know, he was really soft with her. And I'm like, come on, Kevin, I would be the same with whoever it is. Right. But Kevin Samuels was very honest when it came to telling women that you are the problem. You got to work on yourself. He wasn't always this person that was telling you how to fix yourself. I think he used to do like tips for men to how to dress and things like that. So Kevin Samuels, when he came out, it was around COVID. I was out before Kevin. So some people keep thinking that I got my style from him, but I was telling people to shut the hell up in 2016. And nobody can tell me they was listening to Kevin Samuels in 2016 because I know they were lying. He started his IG in 2018. I was already out going viral way before that. So if anything, him being more blunt and being more recognized, it helped people to understand that, you know, this is a man saying it, but a woman has been saying it and y'all weren't listening. So when Kevin started saying it, people started listening, right? I don't think he was wrong in what he did with telling women they were a two. They called in, they signed the agreement, they got what they asked for. I can really respect a man who's honest. I can't respect a man who's going to tell a woman you don't need to lose weight. Kevin was all for health. Now, even though I know he was a little, you know, up in age and he passed away, you know, untimely, I have my revelations for that. I don't think all that was because of Red Bull, but that's just me, you know. But I know a lot of hyenas were happy when he died. I saw death parties online that didn't get reported. Somebody made a post about me saying I was next. And at the end of the day, he was with a woman that was a 10. She was a beautiful woman. So he didn't die by himself. He had him a dime with him. So Kevin, to me, I think he taught men to look out for these type of women and hold them accountable. Don't be afraid. Don't let the body and the face fool you. It's okay to tell a woman you have a lot going on and you need to work on yourself and get in the gym. It's okay to say that. We don't have to be nice, right? And I think that what he did the legacy he left, it will be missed by a lot of men because they liked how he gave out the truth and he didn't care what you had to say. He talked to people like Nicki Minaj, Future. He did real big interviews. He was big time. And I think he was going to be even bigger. I think he was going to probably have a bigger show where he's holding people accountable. And, you know, he left. He left this earth. So that's my take on that. And what I learned from this show is that it's a great thing to talk to someone who's been married longer than me, who can actually enlighten me on some things. There were some things that you told me that I really never thought of like that.
Right,
like
right.
being married and you denying your spouse sex. That is cheating because you're
That is
supposed
cheating,
to,
right.
and I hate when women say, and then when he takes it, that's rape. They go so deep into that. And I say to myself, if you're married to this person, they should never have to ask. They shouldn't have to beg. If they come home and you know they need that relief, give them that relief. So when I saw from your point of view, I said, wow, I was looking at it the wrong way, right? And then I also love the fact that you don't hold back. You're going to say the truth.
Right,
even
no
if you
doubt,
don't want us to
right.
hear it. People like us, we don't have 100,000 subscribers because
No, we
we're
don't.
talking about
We
the
don't.
truth. You know, their pages, there's a woman who started a page when Kevin Samuels died, and she went from 7 subscribers to almost 250,000 subscribers in less than a year, man. And her content is all about talking about how Black men need to die. So can you ask me how she's not shadow banned, but me and you are, right? So I'm learning that these platforms are not going to let us reach our fullest potential without putting a cap on us, right? I just got off of my Facebook ban, but they're still dropping all my posts 60 days for 60 days in the lower feed where people won't see it. So I'm still being punished, and it bothers me. We need to come up with our own way of getting the word out where we can't be silenced. That's what I think. Your show is wonderful and it has a lot of potential. I think we can do a combined show. I want to help you get your page up. Me having 87,000 followers on Facebook, it's a blessing, but it doesn't mean nothing if they're not supporting me. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I totally agree. Right.
And once I'm not punished, I want to help everybody move forward. You know, my Instagram, I am thankful for that because I went from 2,000 followers in August to almost 20,000 followers right now. Okay. My first page, I was almost at 100,000. So I'm going to get there, and I want to help you get there too, because I think we can be powerful as a team. Two is better than one, right?
Yes,
you got
ma'am,
all these other panderers coming together to have a pandering party. Let's come together and have an accountability party, right?
No doubt.
I think we can reach a lot of people. And I also, like I said, I have my own mental health line. I just sent some t-shirts out to some NFL players. So God is going to bless me whether y'all like it or not. I don't need no one to sit here and tell me that I'm not going to do great. I am. I've been talking about mental health for years, and now through COVID, we're now hearing about mental health, right? More. Men needed that years ago. CTE didn't just happen, right? So what I'm saying is I love to help people. They think because I have a big following, I charge. I've never charged anyone anything. I'm free. These phone calls I do, the time I put in helping people, it's free. So no man can tell me that you don't know what we're going through and you're not trying to help. If I say I'm free and you don't decide to take that chance, then whose fault is that?
Right.
So again, I should be charging people. I never.
But you should, sis. And I'm gonna tell you why you should. You don't have to charge an extraneous amount, but your time is valuable. And I'm on charge. I am a licensed therapist, and I'm not gonna do it for free because if you don't charge it, then people won't have no value for it.
That's true.
You got to make people value what you bring, and you bring a wealth of knowledge and information. And we both can be powerful together. It burns me up sometimes because I know I think my channel is as good as better than some of the bigger ones. I don't think I know it is, but for some reason I got to figure out how to get in this algorithm and get the message out more so. But I'm just a real dude, man. You know, I don't know no other way but to be real. I mean, of course I could lie to women, lie to get subs, which I don't really care about that because there's not enough money on YouTube for me right now that really matters. I'm a licensed professional. I'm going to grow my brand at some point, but sisters like you definitely should charge because people value what they have to pay for. I know a lot of times the Medicaid clients, they don't take it serious, so therefore they don't value it. But when they got to damn pay for it, they start taking it serious because it's sweat equity. So don't keep giving your time for free. I'm not saying you can't parcel it and give it in parts, but make people pay for your services. You're a good woman, and that's time you could be giving to your husband and your family. So, so make people pay for it. You said something real brief, celebrity, real quick, and we're gonna end the stream. You said something real brief about, and I'm not gonna say it's conspiracy, but do you think, minus the red boards, you think Kevin could have been deleted? And intentionally? Do you think it was some pernicious, maybe like he was set up, or maybe even witchcraft?
I'm glad you said that. I like how you said delete it. We'll keep it that way. Delete it. Yes, I do. I don't think this man. I know they said that this man beat cancer in his 20s, right? To me, that's the hardest thing to beat, right? And unless they're telling us that it came back and he ended up, that would make more sense. But you can't tell me that Red Bulls and an occasional liquor is what did that to that man. I'm not buying it. He was about to reach his fullest potential. This man basically started becoming a celebrity in less than a year and a half. What he's been doing in that year and a half, me and you have been fighting for years, right? And he just knew how to find his angle, and it worked. And right when he's reaching the height of his life, bam, heart attack. Because then people say, well, hey, he spent all his time calling people fat, and look at him. Didn't mean, I don't believe it. I don't. I believe that some people, when they know too much, they got to eliminate you somehow, right? This man was at the height of his career, and he was holding women accountable. And I think a lot of people just didn't want to hear that. So they want to say, well, every show he had a Red Bull. This man also took care of his health. If this man can beat cancer, I know he knew what was good and what was bad. People just want to create these false headlines. Oh, he had heart disease. You can say what you want, but I don't think this was ultimately just because he had a bad heart. I'm not buying that. There's usually signs when someone is sick or when he would start acting different. And I remember there was one show where he got into an argument. You could tell he was arguing with someone. So I'm not going to sit up here and say that all of this was because of a Red Bull. But you guys, the people in the atmosphere, can say it was that. I don't believe it. And as much as this man might have said things you didn't agree with, this man was also a father, a brother, a son. He didn't deserve to go like that. So I'm just saying, in my mind, I don't think it was 100% because of his health. I'm not going to buy that. I'm not going to fall into that hole where people want to say it was because this man was unhealthy. I'm not buying that, because usually there are signs. When you're unhealthy, things happen prior to a big incident like that, right? And then he just so happened to be in the hands of a nurse. Come on, you guys. It ain't adding up. So again, if she was a nurse, I think she could have done more, but that's just me. I just don't. I mean, that's just me. I don't think it was all because of some Red Bulls. I never seen him smoke. I never seen him do other things like that. But I know when you beat cancer, there are things you have to do to maintain it. He maintained it for that long, and then all of a sudden, bam, not buying it.
C plus more. Say, can I promote your podcast on my TikTok base?
Yes, you sure can. You sure can. First promote you. I want them to promote the Kosher Clinician, because I'm telling you, even though they're silencing me, I can still post this on my my community. I want people to follow you. I'm also going to continue to share this as much as I can.
Appreciate it,
you deserve more. You do deserve more. You do. Right. You really do. And like I said, I have a big platform. I really do. YouTube wasn't my thing. I've only been using YouTube for a year now. It's been a year since I've been doing shows, and I think I'm almost at 8,400 subs. YouTube wasn't my lane. I'm a Facebook person. That's why I have almost 100,000 followers there. That's what I like to do. But they've been silencing me so much. All I have is YouTube right now.
What's your cash app? The people want to bless you there. What's your cash app so we can post it?
Oh, it's celebrity. It's just celebrity. CELE.
Post it so I can put it. Post it in the chat, and then we want to send you some money. So post it.
Thank you guys. Everybody's so sweet. I don't never offer it. I don't do that. But I do have my own clothing line. The website is mentalhealth2011.com, and there you'll see my mental health gear that I have. I do all the logos on my own. And if people are falling on hard times, and let's say that they have, like for Christmas, I sent maybe 20 shirts to people. They might have lost a family member or a kid, and I custom made a logo or a design with their kid with angel wings, put it on a shirt, and sent it to their families. I really did make a lot of people's day. All I tell them to do is not to spread that. I don't like people to talk about the good things I do, because that's not why I do it, for recognition. I can go on YouTube and do a whole video of me giving out money to go viral. But to me, it's not coming from your heart if you need people to like you and sub to you. You see what I'm saying? So last year alone, I probably gave out about 150 t-shirts. My shirts start off at $30. I pay for the shipping. So I do a lot of giving back because I really love people. And whenever people send me donations, I use that to send back to people. Diapers, food. I'm not this evil person that puts you on blast. The only time I will dox you and I will tell people that this is who you are is if you threaten my life. If you come in my inbox with a threat, I don't even care if it's a low-level threat. Everybody knows that 14-year-old girl came into my Instagram and called me a B, a pick me, and said I like D and all this, and I had to talk to her mother and father. And they took away her Beyonce tickets. So when I say that I come for you, I will come for you, but not in that way where I'm going to hurt you. So I'm trying to teach women now, stay out of my inbox if you have kids. Don't make threats to me. I don't like having to do that. I've had to get a lot of people in trouble. Some of you women are on probation. I can find all this out. I don't care if you have a private page. I know you use these generic emails. I can still run you and find out who you are. I also have connections with law enforcement across 20-something states. I'm not to be played with. So when I tell people that I can show you the Scorpio side, I can.
Trust. She can do it. Scorpios are they're like detectives. I don't know how they do it, but they can find out anything they want to find out.
Oh yeah, and like I said, I care about people, and I don't want them to lose their kids and things like that. But a lot of these women, before they hit sin, they know what they're saying. They're in their right mind. So again, I just tell people, please be careful what you say. And these women, all I can tell you is, if you're going to be in these groups bashing these men, posting their picture, talking about their size of their stuff and all that, I'm going to get you. Either I'm going to reach out to him and let him know you're doing it, or I'm going to blast you on Facebook. So nowadays, I know I can get banned. So now what I've been doing is, if a woman is doing something crazy, I will find out who the dad is or whatever and send that to them. I had one woman who was in a sex group. Somebody added me to this group because this woman was saying some really nasty things, saying that you'll get 2 for 1, meaning her and her daughter. Her daughter was 17, turning 18 in 2 months. Now, her father is a pastor and has been a pastor for 42 years. So I saved it and sent it to him. He blocked me, but I know he saw it. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm getting people in other ways like that. You got to be careful what you say. Even if it's a joke, it's not a joke to me. So again, I want to do more work with you. I would love to do more shows with you. Whatever I can do to promote you, I will. If anybody that follows you or listens to you needs someone to talk to and they can't afford a therapist and you might need me to offer you some advice, you can reach out to me on Instagram, Queen of Accountability, or you can email me at accountabilityqueen@aol.com. and I will work with you. Like I said, we'll have to set up a time to talk. If I feel like I can't help you beyond my scope, I'm going to tell you that honestly. But I'm telling you guys, I've saved a lot of lives. There's been men that told me, yeah, right now I'm sitting in my garage and I got the car on and the garage is down. What? What are we doing? So if I have to do what I can from here, I will. If I have to do a wellness check, I will. Please don't think that you can reach out to me and I can't find out who you are. I will, if it means saving your life. So guys, just please take care of your health. You are Black men, you matter. You matter, Black men. If a Black woman tells you you don't matter, she's lying. You absolutely matter and you're needed. And if you're going through a tough time, this is just February, right? It's gonna get better. We were never promised to have perfect days, guys. Even billionaires lose money. Right. So I need you to understand that if you're having a tough time in your life and you feel like that nothing is going right for you, that means something good is about to happen to you. You just have to really believe that it's gonna happen. Stay strong. And if you need me to give you those words of affirmation, reach out to me and I'll do that for you every day. But please don't think your life is going to be perfect, because it's not. We go through pitfalls in our life. That's how you get better. It's how you overcome it that makes you better. Yes, and if people fight every day with cancer and they can survive it, then you can survive something small happening in your life, right? You guys got it. You got it. I promise you do.
Guys, make sure you guys go check out Celebrity Coffee on Me, dear. You and your husband go on a coffee dinner, coffee break or something. You can take your husband out to coffee. So I sent you something on the Cash App. It wasn't a whole lot, but I sent you 10. Actually, I'm going to send you more at some point for your kind work. So did you get it? Did you get it?
Hold on 1 second.
I sent you 10, but I'm going to send you some more.
Thank you so much. I got it. Thank you.
I got you. Yes, ma'am. And also, guys, go check out this sister's T-shirt website, mentalhealth2011.com. She was very gracious with her time. She was very gracious with her kind words. And we need to support women like her. You need to support men like myself. Doing content is not easy. It's very time-consuming. It can be very tedious. It's also very draining. I do enjoy it because I believe that there is a crisis in male mental health. But one of the things we got to do, we got to start supporting good people. And you guys have done a great job for the night. I wish the stream had more people, but the people that were here were meant to be here. And the stream did solid. It would have been good because it got up to 100, but I did get over 50 at one point, so I'm okay with that. You got a big following. Does it frustrate you sometimes, celebrity, that you can't get 200, 300, 400 people in your stream, or you don't really care about that?
When I do my shows, like it usually goes up to like 150, and I know that that's what it is. People keep telling me I do my shows at the wrong time. I'm gonna do them at my time, and either you gonna stick around or you gonna listen after I get off. Anywhere it goes, this is the time that I can devote because I am married, right? But I know there are people who use my content and they get millions of views. Does that hurt my feelings? It does, because they're getting paid off of me. And there's nothing I can do. They give me the tags. They say it's coming from me, and people still don't come and subscribe to me. And I would subscribe to the person that you're doing the story on because I know that the content is coming from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it still doesn't help me. So, like, I have a friend. His name is A Different Perspective on YouTube, and he has almost 1 million followers there. And then he has another YouTube with 1 million followers. And every time he goes live, 1.5 thousand people listening or watching, 2.8. I wish to have those numbers, but people like us, we're like a snail in this race, because what we're saying is the truth, and the truth is never going to be louder than lies. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So as long as we're speaking the truth, it's just going to take longer for people to listen to us, but we're going to get there. We don't have to do like this. Like, I can change my whole stuff up and say men ain't shit, and then I'll probably go up 100,000 subs overnight. Right. That ain't me. I'm never going to do that. You won't get that out of me. I'll be this slow moving train. But I'm telling you, if we work together, I think we can make it happen. We just got to think of ways where we can do more, maybe do like a giveaway, anything it takes to bring people our way so we can give them the truth. We'll do that. But unfortunately, until we can think of a good idea, these panderers and these liars are just going to be above us for a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, you're right. Shout out to my man, Coley Marshall. He said this is the reason why people should pick their battles wisely, no doubt. Well, listen, dear, I appreciate it. It was a fabulous show. You're one of the rare sisters that I meet, and also similar to Dallas D, that I feel like I've known for a while. I kind of honor to have these kind of conversations and have this level of insight. So blessings to you and your husband. I pray that God bless you and your family with prosperity this year, and that your business will grow, your channel will grow even further. And let's continue this conversation. We will be doing more shows at some point, and along with some more sisters that I respect. And once again, blessings to you and your family. And until next time, all right?
Sounds good. Thank you so much, and bless everybody on the podcast.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. All right, be well. All right, guys, we're about to sign off. Another great show on tonight. And guys, I really appreciate it, guys. Some of you men are dealing with emasculation. Some of you men are dealing or in relationships where you're emasculated. Go check out Edward Fields' the 4th book called Emasculated. I think you guys will love that book. Thank you.
Have you been distressed or perplexed? Emasculated, a book written by Edward Fields IV. Everything that needs to be known about men in modern time. Listen, men are not complex. They are misunderstood and unappreciated. Learn what men really feel, think, and desire. Also observe their struggle for acceptance, love, and belonging. A must read for every man in this classic book by Edward Fields IV, Emasculated. Go get your copy now.
If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dope them. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues, absent fathers who miss you, mama drama don't kiss you, all a part of the ritual, this is how they get you, separate the men, women, clipping babies, pretend to, damn, lovers, haters, acting like vultures, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
Kosher clinician. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right.
Listen. Kosher clinician.
Stop playing.
All right, guys, we are signing off. Great show on tonight, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. And once again, guys, we're about to sign out. Share this stream. And once again, thanks to Celebrity. Be well. Hour, 10 o'clock. It's been another great show with Celebrity D, and as we talk about the struggles of manhood. Guys, thank you for tuning in and thank you for your support. Keep showing love, keep spreading light, and keep it up as it relates to male empowerment.